Well,
oh no.
we're going to have awesome fucking technical difficulties. So I can't play the intro, apparently. So fuck it. We're live and we're just going to run with it. So everybody in the chat, I don't know if you were just staring at me for like fucking 15 seconds while I wasn't talking or whatever, but yeah, there's some shit going on. So we'll figure the fuck out. Either way, yeah, it's fine. It doesn't matter. This is how we do shit anyway. You know what I mean? Like literally. So Chad's already in here because it's probably because Carlos, I'm just gonna blame it on you because it makes it easy. But we're just gonna fucking go. We're gonna go with this shit. So anyway, Chad's already here. Check him out. Look at him. Hey, it's fucking Chad. I'm really excited about today's episode. It's kind of cool because it's like we're going in line. So we had Adam from CoraWorks. Now we have Sebastian from CoraWorks and Garage Moon Power and Final Bout, just like Adam's dealing with Final Bout. And this is really cool. So a few things I wanted to go over before I bring James in. I just like to look at him backstage doing whatever he's doing on his phone. But I wanted to go over a few things. So one, big shout out to our newest team member. So Ryo Matsuki is helping us out. He's doing some behind the scenes stuff on the Instagram. He's doing stuff on, yes, we have a TikTok now. If you want to watch James dance in his underwear to weird music, he's going to be on there soon. I hope. I hope so too.
That would be amazing.
But no, it's either way. It's really cool that he's jumped on. He's from a team called StayTuned.ne. They are up north, like the Massachusetts. I think they're a little spread out, but he's really good at like little reels and just keeping up to date with some stuff and like cutting up the podcast. So I decided to bring him on. He seems like he's having a blast with it. A lot of the funny shit that you'll see on the Instagram is from him. So, look out for him, and I'll put some ats and stuff that I want to try to get him on. He's kind of like a little shy guy, but I'd like to try to get him on here just to introduce him and stuff. Yeah, it'd be pretty cool. So I'm going to bring in the other co-host, Mr. James Carper. Bang. Okay. Thank God it fucking worked. I was waiting for it to freeze.
Hell yeah.
James, how are you? Can you hear me? I can't hear him. Can you hear him?
Nope. Can't hear him.
Well, it's probably because
tonight it's just not it.
Are you muted?
He's got to be muted.
He's always muted. Anyway,
mute yourself.
Well, while he figures that the fuck out, man, it's gonna be one of those times.
I'm good.
Oh, hey, there he is! Yay! Was it on your end?
Yeah, it's on my end.
All right.
My headset disconnected, and I plugged my headset back in and switched off my mic. And
gotcha. Put your mic down a little bit too. Like there. Oh, that's right. You're using that one. Doesn't sound
like it's waiting.
Gotcha.
It doesn't sound good.
No, it didn't sound like that. That's fine though.
I'm like 20 feet from it.
So let's jump right into this because we got 24 in the chat already. I know more to come. And I want to introduce somebody that I'm very excited to chat with. He has become, I don't know, somewhat of like an icon in certain aspects of drifting, I believe, and at least in my view, with how rounded, like he's so well rounded with the stuff that he's doing style-wise. It's just, it's very inspiring. So, and I'm going to tell you the little story about how I got, shown and turned on to Mr. Sebastian, but let's just bring him in. So, Mr. Sebastian.
Yo.
Hey. All right. Good.
What's up, guys?
Dude, every single time I'm bringing somebody in, I'm waiting for it to just fucking blank. So, all right, we're good. We're good. We should all be okay. All right. Albert is already saying stuff. Come on. No, Sebastian definitely turned me on to some cool stuff, though. So, welcome to the Pilot Podcast, Sebastian. It is an awesome honor to have you on, and we appreciate you coming on and taking this time. Sorry about the weird intro and stuff. I'll edit that when we put it up on the audio side of things. But first, I'm going to get into how I've learned of you, which I thought was kind of cool. So back in the day at one of the early FDs when it was still at Wall, New Jersey, I believe there was a picture taken of the skyline. I'm almost positive. Did you go to one of the New Jersey FDs?
Wait. No, I don't think so.
Okay, so it was, I think, thrown in so I didn't go. I was at probably that one, but it was thrown in a category of skylines, like from the. Oh, I can't remember what it was, but basically all of the Patreons that went to go watch in the normal parking lot, they were taking pictures of cars. And in one of the forums, they posted a skyline that was there. And then somebody posted a picture of your skyline, probably shitting on the other skyline.
Oh, okay.
In there, I didn't know. That's why I had to ask. I didn't know. But
Well, it might have been just FD Atlanta though, because every FD we have all our cars like parked everywhere. So every
Okay.
FD I would drive my R32.
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah.
I would just leave it up top. So like it's always been like in a place that you can see it. Because like FD Atlanta is our local event or whatever. So like my S14, it's been there every year. Even when it
Yeah.
didn't run. Just because,
So that,
you know.
yeah, so that very well could have been it. It could have been like, because I know it was like a old Facebook group. You know what I mean? That they were posting shit from. It's one of those things where like the parking lots are so rad at FD, and it was a picture of a skyline, and then yours was there, and I was like, oh shit, this thing is fucking rad. And then I think a little bit later on, I got introduced to you just through the internet through, of course, Garage Moon Power stuff, because I looked up to the way you guys were doing the team stuff. Because I've always wanted to do rad, cool, like really, really, really organized, good team shit. And I saw how together you all were, and I was just like sold. I was like, these guys know what the fuck they're doing, and I was just super stoked. And then, of course, it moved on to your products, and I believe, are you married? Your wife?
No, we're not married, but we've
Okay.
been together for like 11 years.
A long time.
We consider that or whatever.
And I remember I talked to her on the internet because she had similar style with like bedazzling stuff and like, you know what I mean? And I was like, hell yeah.
Crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And like we would just vibe off of like just cool stuff back in the day, like on the internet. Yeah, she was really, really nice. But and then later, I think the first time I physically got to meet you was through Dustin, the Garage Moon Power, when Dustin and you guys were doing stuff at Low Style Heroes, that event. When I got to actually meet you and then film and stuff, and that was pretty cool. You guys were very big inspiration early on into the team stuff for me, so I wanted to say thank you for continuing to have style, and we're gonna probably pick your brain on a lot of that shit, but but no. Yep.
Well, I appreciate it because we were just kind of having fun, and we were just following the things that we thought we were supposed to do, just based on the things that we've watched. Just like Adam, we've been doing this for a long time, so we have like an idea of like what you're supposed to do with the drift car from back then. So then once you get like multiple friends to do the same thing, you're supposed to be a drift team,
right?
Because that's just kind of we assume. We see in Japan, like you see more teams in Japan than single people,
Yeah.
So I guess that's how like it became. But the togetherness is just us always hanging out, and we always all work on each other. But what's funny is that most of us don't even drive together. Like I think when we won Final Bout was the first time that me, Dustin, and Phil drove together like the most.
Really?
It's always like where
Sounds like us.
car's broken or like the other's not. So it's always like two of us going at it very hard and then not the third. Or like we'll start and then one breaks. But like like the time that we won, we were like, it was like I guess just more of a natural thing that we already assumed how to drive.
Yeah.
Kind of follow up on it.
That's really funny because that's literally how we are.
Yeah, we don't ever drive together except for Final Bout.
I bet you guys play video games together more though, right?
We
used to.
We used to.
So that's the thing. Like, all right, Dustin doesn't play a Seto at all, right? He's never had a Seto. But there's this thing called R Factor or JDM Factor, right?
Oh,
which is free Seto. So we used to like tandem and go like super hard on Sim before it got like a Seto, like before it became a Seto popular or whatever. And we got a lot more seat time then. So we were able to like, I guess, put that together inside of the cars. But I feel like all our skill levels are also the same driving wise. So
right.
It's easy for like all of us to adapt to each other.
No, yeah. No, that's wild because I mean, some teams, it's funny how it works, like, and just drivers in general, it'll take like years of them driving together to be able to put it together. And then that video game is fucking nuts, which I want to talk to you about that a little bit too, because I did know that you were pretty heavily playing like Assetto and stuff too. But no, it's wild. That's so funny because me and Chad, James never plays video games with us,
No.
but
That ain't me.
he could. But me and Rich started really heavily playing video games together, and you forget that you're not playing a video game when you're in the car. Like that's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
trying
like
to play,
same
like-
movements, like same thing, same rhythm. Like I personally at least practice specific things when I'm like playing the Seto.
Okay.
So like if I like go out one night and like I would sit here and like, okay, this night I'm gonna practice transition timing. This
Yeah,
time I'm gonna practice left foot braking. Next time I'm gonna practice my entries and like
right.
entries while chasing. So then timing entry
Mhm.
while chasing is a big deal. So like
Yeah.
you can use that video game like it's a video game, but like it translates to a degree, you know.
Oh yeah, no, 100%. James, what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say I'm just trying to play like RuneScape with you guys, but when we go out in real life and like we're
That'd be
cutting
sick.
trees and like killing monsters and shit, you know?
Yeah,
It's
Mine some pike. What is it? Pike some stuff or whatever. Used to be able to do that. Man, we
What's
played that
it?
back in the day. RuneScape, right?
Hell
I
yeah.
remember going to the library back in high school to play that.
yeah. Good stuff. I love
that's
that.
so funny.
The little
You,
mage stuff. Wow.
Right.
you still sim a lot or not?
Uh, so like I have one at home, and we
Mhm.
have some here now at the shop. So like at 5, we hop on and play a little bit, but I don't play as much as I used to. Like I used
Yeah.
to like get on and multiple hours every night.
Mm-hmm.
But like lately, I've been trying to have time for all my other hobbies because I
Yep.
like to do other things. And
Yep.
if I just spend so much time on car related things, like I don't focus on other things, and then like I
Mhm.
feel like I'm always like stressed out about getting car things done.
Yeah.
So like even like car related like media, I try to like cut down on.
Yeah.
Like I like don't watch as much YouTubers. Like I realistically don't watch any YouTubers that drift. Like
Mm-hmm.
I watch car related YouTubers, but like that don't drift at all, or something
Oh,
that
no
like
shit.
intrigues me. But like
Yeah.
I like minimize, which is kind of weird though. But like I'm 32 and I've been doing this since like I was 13, so like it's like
Mhm.
always been drifting,
Right.
and it's like way too much. You know what I'm saying? Like at some point, it's like how much more do I need to know about? Like
Yeah.
there's so many other things in life that I can focus on, or
Yeah.
I don't know.
Let's talk about them. What else do you do? What else do you like to do? Like Chad's got some really weird hobbies we can't talk about on air.
I mean, I have some of
Yeah.
those too. I like bicycles. I like art, so that's how I ended up painting like even car related items. So like I like
Okay. Yeah.
art
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
many forms, which translates to that or whatever.
Right.
I
Like
skateboard.
traditional art or like digital? What kind of?
I know I see every now and then you post like spray cans and
Yeah.
shit, like graffiti
Ooh.
stuff.
Yeah.
I've never seen you post any of your work, which I get because it's
Yeah,
not really
yeah.
how it should be seen.
Right.
But
Tagging government buildings
yeah,
and shit.
stuff,
Yo,
I like
illicit,
trains.
illegal activities.
allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly.
Allegedly, I like trains, but
Yeah, and that's cool though, because I've always been like a huge graffiti artist,
Mm.
and not an artist because I could never do that shit. But I would for sure like to see some of your shit sometime, like
Yeah,
just
hell
DM
yeah.
me or something,
I'll
because it would be
show you
cool. Yeah, I would
I'll
like to
show
see
you
that.
stuff. I just like there's like I said, it's so good to be able to separate that
Mm-hmm.
from cars because it's like when I do it, it's completely different. I don't even think about like an S13, S14, or like anything related to drifting, which
Yeah.
makes it so good for my brain. Because then when I come back to like my car and I just did that, I'm like, ooh, I want to do this, I want to do that, because now my brain's like fresh. It's
Right.
also been creative. So now when I look at my car, I'm like, ooh, I'm looking at it way like in a different perspective. I would say
Yeah. No,
I
that's cool.
I feed my creativity a lot. That's how I
Mhm.
would say it, even with car related things. Like whenever I
Mhm.
have a silly idea with like a color or like the anime characters or like
Mhm.
even having liveries, because not many people have liveries when we started to having them or when we attempted to have them. There's not that many people stateside, and it was like cool. Like, oh, we need to do this. It would be so
Mhm.
cool if our creative flows match.
No, hell yeah. I think that's a big thing that you almost have to learn the nice separation and the timing of the separation so you don't
Yeah.
burn yourself out because it's
Yeah.
really easy to burn yourself out.
Yeah.
I know I do it with music and art as well, and Chad does it with music. And what else do you do, Chad?
Not a whole lot.
Yeah,
To be honest with you.
working.
Work.
Yeah,
I
but
burn
it's
myself
still
out with
car
work.
related. It's still
Yeah,
car.
Yeah.
Never
So
escape it.
especially, yeah, and especially like for you, Sebastian, working at CoraWorks and always being around cars, I can definitely see that escape needing to happen. Like James,
Yeah.
at least James, you're like welding and telling your guys to do shit all day. Like you're not really doing like car stuff to get super
No.
burned out. So which is nice. I mean, now you're doing a lot of the wheel stuff, but that's not like, sitting there
Yeah,
fabricating all day and then you need an escape.
it's just as bad.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's sick, man. So you're getting into photography too, like and video
Yeah,
editing and stuff.
Yeah. It's just like
Yeah.
part of everything. Like, and that's, to be honest, that's the only reason why like even Instagram has worked for me, because when I
Right.
started to do it, I was creative a certain way. Like I
Mhm.
always made these little silly videos with silly background music, and
Right.
everyone like remembered it, right? And then now we eventually got it. Like I would
Mhm.
play the music on my phone and then record my like story.
Yes. Yep.
Now we
Yep.
have music on the story, right? So like that's how it
Yeah.
started with it all, and like making just regular videos or posts on Instagram, like not even for anyone, just for myself.
Yep.
And then like it's kind of fun. So like that just translates with everything else or whatever.
Oh yeah. Somebody's asking you what camera are you using now? And we just went over this in the private chat, but just so that everybody.
I got it's like a blog camera or whatever. It's a Sony ZV-E10, or
Mhm.
I think that's what it is. Yeah.
Yep. Interchangeable lenses. Something
Yeah,
is this your first like camera style without?
No, I think we have like my girlfriend also has like a Nikon something, and we have like
Okay.
silly things. And like I mean, I have like a newest iPhone, or the
Mhm.
latest, not the newest, but the cameras on them are like so good that you can text.
Yeah.
To be honest, my phone is kind of what gotten me into it, because you can do some
Yeah.
cool stuff with them. Which then I'm like,
Mhm.
wait, can you do cooler things when you know? And then we also have friends that do it, and every time I see them, it's just fun. It's like
Yeah.
creative things to do, like expressing yourself or whatever. So
Oh yeah. I've been having a kick making like these reels and shit.
yeah,
Like just a fucking blast. I know I'm gonna
Yeah.
get in trouble eventually.
Yeah.
Like, cause my
Oh, yeah.
ideas just get like wilder and wilder. So like, yeah, the last one was really good. Actually, Chad had an idea for this one word glove company. Who's probably in the chat. What up, Jake? But he's sponsoring the team with gloves and doing all sorts of big things and really cool moves. And Chad had an idea. And I was like, fuck. And I took it and ran with it. And it didn't get as crazy as I wanted it to be, because it was going to be like, so it ran into like, I'm going to rob a bank. I'm going to do all this shit with it. But I'm like, how do you actually, like, can I go into a bank and be like, hey, look,
Hey.
it's all for fun. I'm going to pull out a gun. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think they'll just let you do that. I don't.
yeah.
They're not just gonna let you pull out a gun in a bank, even if it's
No.
for fun.
Imagine that video. So I'll work on that. I'll get a little crazier. But anyway, no, it's definitely nice. It's like I'm a big fan of creativity. And it's funny because you can definitely tell in the drifting scene who is creative. Like
Yeah,
the
100%.
style pops. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
There's
yeah, it makes
something
sense.
about it. Yeah, which is really, really neat. And it's always like, oh yeah, I'm also an artist, or oh yeah, I also create this, or I play RuneScape every single day of my life.
Yo.
Yeah, but no, it's definitely neat. So so speaking of that, the early stages of Garage Moon Power, when I want to ask you about, specifically the team. When did that start? Do you remember?
So like realistically, we were friends for a long time and just doing it, and maybe 11 or 12, 2011 or 12, we were
Okay.
the girl that I'm with right now or whatever, Sandra. We were like, she's also very into Sailor Moon stuff like that,
Mhm.
whatever.
Yep.
So we were like at working on the car. We're like, we're always working at the middle of the night, Garage Moon something, and we were like,
Oh, that's
and
cool.
it kind of like was something along that, right? And then later on, one of my friends, so like it kind of all this ties together with Garage Moon Power as a company, right? So then later on, one of my friends works at a local factory where we
Mhm.
actually have the mats printed, and I was like, back then it was actually hard to get D-Max parts and stuff like that. So I was like, hey,
Yeah.
can we make checker mats for ourselves? And he did, non-logoed ones, right? And
Right.
then after that, I was like, I already have this logo design for like our little team. What if we like
Yeah.
logo them and like do something with this, because it could actually be something multiple people ask or whatever. So
Yeah.
then we did that. So then right there we had a product, and it started Like
That's cool.
it legitimized more like our attempt to be like, oh, Garage Band Power.
Yeah.
Around this point in time, Dustin and Phil. At first, Phil was like already really drifting with us. Dustin started to come into the picture more and drifting with us way more.
Mhm.
And then we were able to sign up to try to do Final Bout or whatever, because it was something that like I wanted to always do for like
Yeah.
as a team or whatever. So I was like, hey, you guys drive a lot. We drive very well together. Let's try to do this. So we
Yeah.
built. I'm trying to remember what we got like our cars together or whatever. We painted all our cars together. I think what legitimizes is at one point in time, Dustin wasn't gonna get put on this other team.
Oh.
So we were like, screw it, you're coming with us. And then like we were doing this, and the other team at that point in time had that color, but then me and Phil changed it and made it prettier. It was like a burgundy, right?
Yeah.
And then me and Phil made this like maroon burgundy that we like mixed up because we wanted our cars to not be single staged. So then
Yeah.
there was like multiple whatever. So then we were like, well, screw it. Since they're not gonna let him in or whatever, then let's just become all of us Garage Band Power.
Yeah.
Because Garage Band Power was like me, my girlfriend, and you guys are probably seen this by Michael Shannon, Ralph, and they have S12s.
Yep.
Yeah.
Or like we have
Love-
multiple
I love
things.
S12.
Love.
Yeah, exactly. So then
well,
we have that. We have another friend called Armin who has another Sylvia S chassis that just kind of looks like that mid mount guys. So like we were like a separate thing, but they don't necessarily go at back then.
mhm.
They didn't go to the track as much, right? They were just starting
Gotcha.
to get their cars. They were like coming up. Like right now they're
Mhm.
like really into it or whatever, right? But that it's been a while now. But so back then it was like Phil and Dustin that we were like, okay, now this is a full drift team. Let's
Yeah.
try to go to find about. Let's even with those guys, because those guys were our pits. They still came. They came multiple years.
Yeah.
Even Mikey has came when Dustin couldn't make it because he was doing pro stuff or whatever.
Mhm.
But so that's kind of how it like all blended together. It was all of us already hanging out. We
Right.
already had kind of something with like me and some friends, and then these other friends didn't kind of like led kind of like a third in, but we were like, Dustin, you're cool. We're like hanging out with you.
Mhm.
Come and be part of this. And like I said, at that point in time, we were playing JDM Factor a lot. So we were like, we were just hanging out,
Yep.
playing games a lot, trying to drive cars a lot. We had like an idea. That's how
Mhm.
we like fed Dustin all this. Like, you have to have your car look like this. You have to be this. You have to do that. Like,
Right.
so I had a coupe on D-Max or whatever, and like I sold that car for my 32, and I told Dustin, I was like, look, I was about to do all this. This is pre anybody in America having Origin aggressive. And I was
Mhm.
like, Dustin, you literally have to do this. Like I have it pictured. Like I'm telling you, like you
Yeah,
order
yeah.
this, you get this, you get this.
Right.
Nobody else here has it. It's
Mhm.
gonna come. They've been doing it for 3 years now. I'm
Yeah.
telling you, do it now.
Yep.
He did it. Car amazing. There's still people, in my opinion, that like built his car, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So like, but it like,
That's so cool.
and that's how we've always been. So like, I've been into it for a while. So I like always looked at all these old things, and I follow
Mhm.
all the drivers in Japan. So like, you can see their progression of cars,
Yeah.
and you do the same thing back.
Yep. Yeah. 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 No, that's super cool. I do remember that. Like his first, like the first, like bam was like definitely nobody else was really rocking it yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, that's super cool. So now you guys all had similar tastes and styles, even coming together already. Like
Yeah.
you all, yeah, that makes it really nice too. Because I always,
Yep.
I always think about some of these teams that like they get together and it's everybody's so different.
Yep.
You know, like that has to be hard because
Yeah.
even just to like get 3 guys together to get the same colors or a livery or just whatever is insane, the amount of
Yep.
effort it takes, unless everybody's like, yeah, no, we get it, like this is what we like. So kudos to you guys, and that's cool. So what year did you guys, how many times did you final bout?
Oh.
Was it twice?
We've won it once, but we've done it
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna say 4 times now.
Okay, wow. Yeah.
Because maybe we did either second or third.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can't remember right now, to be honest.
Yeah. And
Time's fly.
is yeah, it does. And so is Garage Moon Power as a team still going, or is it kind of, because I know everybody got busy and like,
Yeah.
Dustin's doing crazy things and like your career is now like, going pretty wild. What has it set? You said it's set back a little bit.
Yeah, 100%. So like really
Yeah.
last time we tried to do it, that's why like I said, Mikey tried to come in the S12, and because Dustin was busy, and then we've dropped like a couple members, like we don't really hang out with Phil anymore, and I've also moved, so it's made like our relationship much harder than we used to be. So we don't all drive like we used to at all.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
But Dustin has like a full career, so
Yep.
like
Yep.
to me to be able to get to drive with him just to go have fun at fun events is kind of a little hard.
Yeah.
But, so
those,
like
those damn pro drivers.
exactly, and like
Trust me, we got to deal with one too. We get
Yeah,
it.
they're
like,
a pain in the ass.
you guys got to get 255s, 265s.
Oh,
I'm
God.
like, dude, my
Yo.
R32 went to crap because of that. I had to keep up with them on like the fastest tire, the fastest everything.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I have to,
Right. More stuff's
in it.
breaking.
Dude,
right.
axles, transmissions.
Yep,
Before I didn't
yep.
break anything on 235s. I didn't break anything,
Mhm.
and I used
Yep.
to be just as fast as them. But like they were like,
that's
you got to
funny.
do it, and I was like,
Yeah.
all right.
Yep. Hey, yeah.
That
So Mac in the chat saying Skyline was a gallery, right? And yes,
Yeah.
I remember that because that's the first time that I think I seen some of you guys driving too.
Yes.
It was a gallery. Me
And I
going up in 19. Yep.
I think my car. So like the first time we went, I got to do 3 laps or maybe 4 laps, and my gritty oil filter relocation came loose.
Oh
And I
no.
did a whole lap, and then at the bottom of the hill, I saw all my lights flashing. I was like, "Oh, turn it off."
No.
Yeah, I blew up an SR. I had the SR for like 8 years up to
Yeah.
that event, and then one modification that I didn't have before killed it.
Oh my God.
Damn.
That's the shit that's scary. But yo, back to the pro guys in pushing this. It's funny you said this. So I just had a conversation, I think it was this morning, with Rich talking about like grip and speed and all this other fun stuff. And I was saying how I want to get a little faster. I want to learn, I want to get a little bit more gripped up. But the level that they love is insanity.
Yeah.
Like I make way more power and my car's lighter than him, and I could not touch him at final bout. Like if he would lead, he was just gone.
Yep.
I'm like, that's crazy. But I think we kind of come from that like mentality of team drifting where it's very smooth, orchestrated, everything. The timing is just beautiful. Like where power is not really a big deal. It's like, and grip levels that, you have that like slip where you can play with the throttle to get comfortable and closer. But is your style changed since then? Like, are you into a little bit more grippy? Because now I used to love super ice skating, but now after like doing dumb shit with the Corolla and like, trying to throw like big dumb backies and stuff at like E-Town, I'm like really having a lot of fun with that. So now I want to play around a little bit with that. But have you noticed your style like changing, or do you still like the whole like just standard setup, super smooth driving, or
So this is
where
the
you
thing,
at?
though. I believe that you don't have to have one or the other. Like
You could do both.
in my opinion, my girlfriend's car, like the orange 180 that I drove and found about last time, like I don't know if you got that thing is still on. I think we put a 245, but it's like a stock SR-ish. So it's like same thing as Rich's, but low, just not super big. And it wouldn't leave any like at that track. Nobody could leave me like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's a mixture of the way that I drive, but like if I gripped it all up, I don't think it would make the car any funner, in my opinion, because I'm still throwing it with the same like aggression that I would if it was more like gripped up or whatever. I just try to do the same with the setup, so you can feel some grip with like 235s. Like
yeah.
Like to be honest, I don't think I ever felt a difference in my R32 going from a 235 to a 265. Like I don't physically think I felt a difference. Like even at Road Atlanta on 235s, I was just woo, like having fun.
Right.
But here's another thing. So I don't buy like 235 cheap tires. They're still grippy tires. So like
oh, got you.
I got grip. I'm just not 265.
Right.
You know, like I
Right.
guess
Yeah.
Dustin and them were on like Sestinos back then or whatever, or Valinos 265, and I was on a 235. But like
Right.
we were on the same compound tire, so
Yeah.
like I could technically, I don't know. In my opinion, my R32 drove better
Oh,
because
okay.
it felt like I could flick it more.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
To be honest, when people say, "Oh, I just did all this, I can feel it," I kind of don't believe most people
See,
because I've been driving so long where
Right.
like it just feels like driving to me. Now
Mhm.
sometimes I'd be like, okay, yeah, like I should turn down the tire pressure because I'm like sliding out, like you're saying, like it just feels like
Yeah.
I have no grip.
Right.
But like I've had that with like crappy tires. I just turn down the tire pressure, change the damn
Mhm.
thing real quick, and just try again. Like
Yeah.
I've never been like, oh, I did this, and like it feels so much crazier. I don't know. Maybe I'll try with my S14 now and like put crappy
Mhm.
tires on it and be like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm just ice skating everywhere. Like it would make
Yeah.
sense with 500 horsepower or more, right? Because then you
Right.
like you're literally just not doing anything. But like
Mhm.
under 3 or around 3, I
Mhm.
don't see the need.
Yeah.
We need to get
Yeah.
Rich to listen to this.
Yeah.
Well,
We.
Get him to
You know,
ride.
oh my god, we've been trying. So like, I said like for final
He'll
bout,
never change.
he's like, I can't chase Chad because I'll just drive over him because he's that gripped up. And I'm like, dude, get some cheap fucking tires or air up. Like
Air
stop
up.
running 12 pounds.
Air up.
Yeah. But like
So-
that's his style and he loves it. But I feel like I think there's a good balance. If you have a good setup alignment wise, I think there's a way, and that's what I want to try to do with my car this year in 2024 is to tire tune it. So if I want to do big, crazy things, I'm throwing on this compound, and otherwise I'm running this. You know what I mean? And leaving my suspension completely alone, not dial anything, not towing in like 2 fucking degrees, or 2 inches. You know how they go crazy. None of that stuff. I just want to be like
simple.
Yeah, simple. Yep, keep it very simple. What were you gonna say, Chad?
Sebastian chased me at Final Bout last year, and he didn't have a problem with his car. That's pretty much like Rich's. So maybe it's just a skill issue, Rich. So maybe you just need a driver mod. I don't know. Like, he didn't have a problem, so maybe you just need to suck it up.
Yeah, right.
Fucking slicks on your car.
That is much funner though, chasing you down with knowing that you have much power, dude. Like I literally knew when you were gonna transition every time, and I'm just like, okay, give him space, transition, get close to him. Okay, give him space, transition, get close to him, and it's so easy to be able to predict that with a slower car.
Yeah.
When you're fast and twitchy, I'm like, what are we doing? Are we gonna flick it really hard into here, and then like what are we doing? But like you try to keep up, and that's usually how I've wrecked my car the most. Is trying to keep up with like fast and twitchy.
Right.
When if the cars are just like Chad's, where like
smooth
he's doing his line,
and
it's smooth. There's gonna be nothing crazy. It's perfect.
Yeah.
At Final Bout, technically, that's how you should drive if you're leading. Smooth, wide.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then anybody can stack up. If you try to speed up, which is fun, it just you get the third dude trying to catch up, and then that's how problems end up kind of happening.
Oh yeah. That's why we put Chad in the front.
I'm not running away from anybody. That's for sure.
It's a smart move.
But it is funny though, because I mean I'm always curious to see what people say about like grip levels and this because I'm playing with the same ideas and trying to figure stuff out, but I feel like there has to be like a good common ground where everything would work. Like if we want to go to a competition, we know we just bring our Zex, our Kendas or whatever, the grippy boys, and we're good to go.
Dustin, in my opinion, proved that because he won Pro-Am in his car that he won Final Bout in, and that, like the main difference is he showed up to Pro-Am in Valinos or Zestinos or whatever back then, and a lot of people were on Kendas, and he literally just grip murdered everybody.
Oh wow!
Because he was just able to have grip
and
like line and just get next to him and just like, woo, cool. I can control my car like super easy. But they were trying, they couldn't do that. And like now though, everyone's on a nice tire because it makes sense. It really does.
Right.
But like 500 horsepower competition, Pro-Am, like But if like as I'm saying, if you want to go do, hey, I'm gonna go do something, I'm gonna compete. I should have these 4 tires just for competition, and maybe this kind of slick tire for qualifying, so then I can do a cool qualifying run.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
This is like another thing. We do professional drifting too here at Coral Works over there. So with Dustin, and I've actually helped a lot of my friends do pro-am. I don't know if you guys know who David Campo is. He's got this pretty crazy rotary 20 BFD
Oh,
thing.
sick.
He's been around a long time. He just brought it back, but he used to do pro-am like back in the day. So like, I've always seen both sides. So like, there's always a way where you can make your car fast and cool and all this to be able to compete, but then have a good style with the car.
Right.
Like, you don't have to. It doesn't have to be as ugly. Like Dustin, that's why I said Dustin kind of has proved that a little bit, because he was able to prove in his coupe that you can have a pretty looking car with style, cash on it, and win like a pro-am license or Formula D license at that point.
Right.
Even Rich is the same way though. Like Rich murders that. Anybody in that Sylvia in a competition, I would be afraid to drive against him or whatever. But
yeah,
he's good. You know, and those competition drivers have a different mindset than a lot of like.
They're always on kill mode.
Yeah, like Dennis's always on kill mode. For me to tell him like, "Yo, you got to slow down, put these slick tires on," and he'll be like, "What?
Right?
No, we got to go fast."
That's exactly what Rich says.
That's
I had to deal with it. Like, trust me, guys, I had to deal with it. I went 265, and I was able, like, I can keep up with them, and like I understand, and that's why I have this S14, because it makes more sense to have a car that's built like that does the same.
Right.
And like my R32. At least I wanted my R32. I think I like my R32 the most when it was on like 215s and 225s. When it was like, whenever I would like smash the gas in my rear, I would get like lip to fender, like like that. That was like ultimate style. Looked the most, like the coolest.
No,
and
that is
at the end on 265 square tire all the way around. In 265, 235, it just doesn't look right.
Too much meat.
For the car or whatever. Like I
understand
understand certain cars that like looks really, like my S14 now has the meat and it looks really good.
Yep.
I just don't think the R32 has that in it.
No.
It needs to look like stylish or
you styled that up really, really good, and it fit. That like style was good, like a nice tuck, you know, like once you hammer it, and like that rim to lip is, or like fender to like, oh my god, it's perfect. That's like my favorite.
I don't know,
especially for the squat. Oh.
Exactly. I don't know if you guys seen like lately or this past couple of days, but I guess New Zealand or whatever, like their cars seem like, I think it's because what's his name is having in what's his name, the FD guy, or
Mad Mike.
Mad Mike,
yeah, dude. So he's having that at an event, and I've seen a couple of cars are going to it, dude. All those cars are completely slammed on the ground.
They do it right.
Flips, super lots of power. Like usually they do it right. I'm like, why do we steer away from that so hard?
I don't understand it. We asked that question on this podcast.
Why is everyone in America going away from super low cars and saying it's slow? But these dudes in New Zealand have the lowest cars ever. 18s all the way around, skinny tires, but they're flying.
Drift Masters is the same. If you watch some of the Drift Masters, like in the replay, I'm looking back and they're fucking tucking. Like under compression inside fender and blowing tires off, and still, full competition style car. I don't know.
We just don't care about style in the US anymore.
I think it's laziness, to be honest. I think they don't want to deal with like suspension geometry or like whatever for what they need. You know what I mean? With all the crazy Weissfab setups and stuff like that. I feel like they just want to go, okay, this works. You know, so-and-so Osbo's done this. We can take his data, apply it, and we know we're good, instead of going in and just being like, well, Forrest Wang's always low, and so is, you know, so-and-so. We can do it, and I won't sacrifice for it. They just sacrifice. That's what it is. But it is a shame. Yeah, you're right. I'm super stoked to see. I honestly think overseas gets it way more than us. Like Australia is killing it right now with the fucking stuff they got going on. Like, we just need to move. Let's all move.
Yeah, let's just go to Australia.
I fully agree. I don't know what it is either, because I've like tried to look around and what actually influences us or whatever, but like America is so divided everywhere that like it's so hard to be able to be like, oh, let's kind of follow a like an aspect of car or whatever, like a styling of car, because it changes from city to city even.
Yeah.
Or like,
Mm-hmm.
but I wish even the stylish cars that we have here in America, a lot of them have gone away from being low, and
Yeah.
it's just like, but it's
Yep.
also, and I don't understand. I've tried to figure this out, and I don't understand, and I just think we're all sheep. Realistically, it's because a couple people do something, and everyone just follows so hard that they don't think or remotely try to understand it for themselves. They're just like, oh
Mhm.
yeah, even
This
like
is it now, right?
yeah, like, oh, this is what we're doing. Just like,
Mhm.
do we
I
really have
think
to like?
I think
Mhm.
everybody has to just prove that they're better than the next guy.
Yeah,
And if you have to sacrifice being low to do that, some people it's more important.
yeah,
I will never do that. My car has
yeah,
to look good, and then if I can keep
yeah.
up, cool.
Cool. Yeah,
But
Right.
I
You
just couldn't
also
do that.
I think you have generational changes too, though, because a lot of
yeah,
the people that are
totally.
coming up right now, like the people that they're looking at, like a lot of these guys that are starting to drift don't know of a lot of the Japanese influence or outside of the United States. It's like they're watching people like Taylor Ray and has a little
Yep,
bit of Japanese influence and Adam
totally.
LZ. And,
Yeah,
now granted, like Jimmy Oaks is doing good stuff. He
yeah,
gets, he's got Fitment, whatever, he's doing stuff. But a lot of the other YouTubers and people that they're meeting at the track are already not super styled, and
yeah,
they're putting that mentality of like seat time, which is a
yeah,
really good mentality.
yeah,
But
yeah,
the one
totally.
thing they're missing out on is pride in your car. That's
100%.
that's what we're missing is pride.
Yeah,
I think Americans in general just want that seat time and they want to do skids, but they forget that like I don't know, like just take some fucking pride. That's all
yeah,
it is,
yeah,
like and
totally.
it takes I don't know. Again, it comes back to the artist in us.
Yeah,
So expression for me is massive. I remember going to high school and drawing all over my pants and doing like weird shit. You know what I mean? Because expression and art and like just creativity is like in my blood. So the people that don't have any creative like juices, they're just following, like you
yep,
said. They're looking at what's going on and they'll be like,
exactly.
okay, well, this guy's doing cool stuff. I'm just going to copy his setup. And he's not
Yep,
low. I'm not going to be low. And he doesn't even know
exactly,
why. You know what I
exactly.
mean?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
I think that's the American kind of problem epidemic.
So here's the thing that I was like a little curve out. This is where I kind of have a little mind game because technically I was the same way, and most of us that I know were the same way because we were so heavily influenced by Japanese drifting that like
Mhm.
I didn't know really why they were doing that. I just like,
Right.
okay, that car is so
Yeah.
cool.
Right.
I
Yep.
need to do that. So like
Mhm.
I fully agree with like all the new like when you see a new kid and he's like, this is the car I'm building because this kid built it. Like
Mhm.
I support that. What I think is weird is like some of the older heads who are falling to these trends. They're like
Yes.
kind of the same way who were brought up by other older heads. Like
Mhm.
I- you don't have to
Yeah.
be like that. You can just be yourself. You don't have to
Yeah.
race your car because some dude in Mihan did it. Like they have rumble strips that are like taller
Oh
than
yeah.
us. They literally have to
Mhm.
race their cars because of rumble strips. So like
Mhm.
and like then like you said, then you have YouTubers only going to Mihan. But like if you go to different parts of Japan, they build different style cars. If you go to
Yep.
like a completely different part of Japan, you will see nothing but low cars. They're like
Yep.
literally scrape the ground. Like they have events
Mhm.
just for that. But like it's not
Speaking
Mihan, so you don't go
speaking
to
of
that.
that, speaking of that, what we should do is a massive United States gathering to go over to like Doridor,
That would be
Yeah,
so sick.
yes,
and like
yes,
all of that stuff. Anybody that appreciates like low style stuff would be
yes,
sick, and we all just get
exactly.
Anyway, that we'll talk about that later.
But
Maybe
like
like
it's
an
Oh yeah,
invitational in the US.
yeah, but no, you're 100% right. And that's the other thing is you look at like right now the Matsuri, all the YouTubers are over
oh, yeah,
there
yeah, yeah,
driving missile cars. So
yeah.
then they're getting influenced by that and they don't understand that. And all of a sudden they're like looking for a chaser over here and they don't care about smashing it up. And it's like, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Like,
And I
but
don't know if you guys
but
remember that we had a huge missile crisis at one point here where
oh,
like
we know
it
it's
all came from that
yep.
because like outside influences being like, oh yeah, we don't care.
Mm-hmm.
See time driving is like, yeah, they're driving way more in one weekend than we could ever do, which makes sense why that car looks like that. Your car that
Right.
you're 20 laps at an event and then you're going 2 months, you have 2 months
Mm-hmm.
to fix the car.
Right.
Fix it, make it look good, break it again.
Yeah.
Like, Pete, you shouldn't leave it broken ever.
No.
There shouldn't be any more missile crisis, though.
It shouldn't be,
but like, I don't think there will be, because you're not just gonna buy a $40,000 JZX and just smash it and not care. Like, the cars now are expensive. Like, all the cars that are crushed over there, those people have owned for a long time, way before this price hike. But I mean, you never know. There might be some people out there that just will ride off a car and not care, just keep driving. But I haven't seen like a missile 90 or 100 over here yet. I mean, Rich's is probably as close as you're going to get.
But look,
even that doesn't look bad.
Those cars are abundant over there, right?
Yep. Exactly.
Now we have E46s and 350Zs here that you could say it's the missile crisis.
That's true.
The amount of broken 350Zs or E46s at every event is crazy. Now, most of them, there's a handful of really nice ones at these events too. But like, it's the same mentality. Like, why continue on? Like, I get it. It's a seat time car. You don't. If you have another very nice car that you go race on the weekend, that makes sense. But like, if that's your number one car, why have no pride in like you ruining it every weekend? Like, you just don't care. I don't want to drive with you. You're gonna ruin my car,
right?
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, Chad was cool with letting me chase him, and I can get as close, but I never wanted to ruin his car. I was never gonna do anything to put his car in like
jeopardy.
Anywhere near that. Exactly. I wouldn't do that. Now, in some of these events with a car with a kid, like I would be afraid.
Yep. See,
I definitely had to face that before. Like, people sometimes they ask me why I don't want to drive with them, and I look at their car, and maybe you're a good driver, cool. But my first perception is you don't give a shit. So I give a shit. I don't want my car to become backed up like a crumpled beer can. I'd much rather drive with a car that looks cool. Plus, the media will look even better. Like, it's just a win-win all around for everybody.
I can actually even say Chad doesn't even care if your car looks cool and you're a shitty driver. He'll still drive with you.
That's true. I drive with James. Yeah,
I do drive with James.
I always used to say, exactly the same thing. If your car looks like shit, that means you definitely don't give a shit about mine. But also, it shows you like how much time and effort you're willing to put into something, and that's kind of scary to me. I also feel like your hygiene's pretty bad. Like, you probably are a little stinky. I don't know if you got a missile car, I feel like you're a little stinky. You know what I'm saying? And I've said that before, but no, but
make a great clip.
Oh yeah, sorry. So there's something that I learned early on from a car head that made a lot of sense, and it's, even if you don't give a shit about your car, keeping it clean helps you keep that car on the road. You can find leaks, you can find damage, you can find all of this stuff to keep it going. So like, you pop somebody's hood and it looks absolutely disgusting. It's like, well, good luck finding an oil leak. You know what I mean? And then you're going to drive 17 hours and then blow your shit up. Like, that's So there's just, that sense of pride. We push that on here a lot.
Yeah.
We really want to see style. And again, like you said, though, if somebody grows up in a different era and a different inspiration, like, it's understandable. It's not their fault. You know what I mean? No. It's literally not their fault. So we shit on a lot of fucking people on this podcast. But again, we always say it's our opinion and it's not their fault. But it is weird. It is totally weird to go back to what you were saying with the OGs that do understand and have driven low cars and had no issues. When they've raised their shit just because of somebody else, that clout bullshit, I kind of like, I don't know.
I don't get it.
I look at them a little different.
I don't try to because maybe they understand something that I don't understand. So like like I said, I even try to build an S14 with some of that in mind. Like, my front of the car is not slim, but like I did it with my R32, and like I don't know if I felt what they're feeling. Like, maybe I'm missing something.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not, but like, I can jump in another car and I don't feel that.
Yeah.
But like, it could be something else they're looking for in the same driving that I don't see, but and like, I understand, like, we are all influenced by different things. So maybe they're just like, if I do that, maybe I can get my driving up to that level. Or maybe if you just drove so much that you get to that level. Right. Like, at one point in time, I was doing like over 15, 16 events a year in my R32. That's like 1 or 2 events a month. That's a lot of driving. If you do something like that, you get so at one with the car It doesn't really matter. Like, you know when you can slip the clutch. Like, okay, I'm gonna go faster. If I just slip the clutch right here a tiny bit, but if you don't drive it enough, at least for me, it's like, I don't know.
No, sure. And there's that level too, I think, of where you can put the car that it actually starts to make a big difference.
Yeah.
Like you can have tire showing, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like that makes sense. Like my Corolla's not dumped. Like it would be if I could cut out the rear and like get a equal length 4-link, and that's a lot of work. But anyway, but realistically, like my front's up there because Corolla steering's a little weird and it feels good the way it is, but it's still not skyjacked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I still have enough pride that I'd sacrifice a little bit, which is funny because we have in this group right now, we have James who will sacrifice anything. Will 100% sacrifice absolute everything just to be as low as possible. Like I actually forgot about that as we're talking, which is hilarious. But no, it's like I think honestly, like when looking at these pro car builds and looking at the suspension geometry of cars, it's a choice. They're choosing to be that high. They don't actually need to be that, except for I do know certain tracks with like the that insane and that makes sense. Makes sense. So I get it.
And here's a big thing though, at least with me, I respect like every type of automotive build to a degree, right? Especially when you have pride. So when you see some of these pro cars, like there's no way you can't appreciate the amount of like just sweat, labor that somebody put into building this car, even if it's not the driver or whatever. Somebody built this whole entire race car, right? And like they were thinking about every part. And it's cool to see why they were thinking about it. Like I get super nerdy about cars and stuff. Like I love FD. I love FD cars. I love Osbo's cars. I love the Corolla. That thing is so freaking cool. I used to sit at Grid and I have so many videos of it squatted because I want to figure out what he's doing. Like, yeah, dude, he would calm the Grid and the car would squat just when he's like sliding the clutch or just holding the car, and it would squat so heavy, like inch it, like you'd be like, what? The car just it's like a lowrider, and then he's gone. But once he's driving, it didn't have the same. So I'm like, what?
Oh, that's weird.
What is he? Yeah, dude.
But like weird shock valves or something. That's like
something. I don't know. Or maybe it's just the way he was loading the car up so much that it had so much torque, the car loaded up. I don't know.
Right. I remember this one car. I can't remember where it was, but they were talking about soft springs, and he said, "Go bounce my car like a basketball," and I was able to. It literally was that fucking soft, and I was like, "That's crazy." But I wonder off like quick, like the rebound, like if you punch it, if the valving is set that it like has that release of to change all the. Yeah, that's wild. No, I definitely appreciate. All the technology and the pro car stuff is crazy. But when we get to that street car level and like what we're usually doing, I'm like,
it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
But
no, that is pretty cool. So you guys there still go pretty ham with like some of the crazy build, like the built cars and stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's super cool. You have anything recently that you guys are like working on?
I mean, we're building Carlos's car, and I think it's crazy. I don't know if he's told you about it, but it's like LS 8-to-1 turbo FC with everything that you could imagine.
Oh, that's a car I saw when I was down there.
Yeah.
Nuts looking. The engine bay in that looks fucking crazy.
Is that Carlos that's in the chat right now?
Yeah.
Sick.
That thing's fucking rad. I can't wait to see that thing done. It's gonna look so good.
That's awesome.
I know it's a pro car. That's fun.
Well, I mean, it's like not a pro car, but it's pro level build. Like he's not even gonna like he might, but at the same time I think he's just gonna enjoy the car for himself. But
sick.
It's here because of the same mentality though, because you guys build these other pro cars and they with this way, this level. So I'm trying to think what else do we have. And we have that truck, which is crazy, but
Rutledge's truck. That thing's wild.
Yeah, it really is. Should look. I can show you.
No, that's super cool.
Truck.
Yo, we getting a shop tour right now?
Oh, that's really rad. Yeah. Anybody that's just listening, he's showing us. This is your excuse to go onto YouTube and watch the videos. We get to see his personal car sitting there. Really worked truck. What's in the truck?
So it's got a 1J.
Oh, sick.
1J. It's got S chassis rear suspension. I don't know if you can see that. Or like we cut
That's really
the rear
clear
end back
though.
of the truck.
Yeah.
That's chassis rear. That's an LS1 dry sumped FRS. It's actually a Toyota racing car.
Yeah, TRD one. I remember.
Yeah, it's like a legitimate TRD built. The roll cage is crazy. It's got the headliners built into the roll cage. You can't even see it. It's cool.
What? That's
yeah,
wild.
it's got like TRD floater rotors. It's crazy. But now it's a drift car.
Sick.
It's 6 my coworkers, Ryan, Greg's car. So like we're going drifting this weekend. So everyone's car
Hell yeah.
inside right now is getting. It's our personal cars because it's after work and
right.
We got to get ready. So there's tires everywhere.
So this is nerdy, but little stuff like the G4 sticker on Greg's car.
I was just about to say that.
That's the stuff that gets me excited. It's so dumb. You know what I mean? Like it's just but I know. Yes.
That's
you have to have it.
My first like experience watching drifting was on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was in high school.
Yep.
Like
back when that was a channel.
Yeah.
Back when it used to be on in like 15-minute increments.
Yeah.
That's what I fucking watched.
And then you can figure out how to play it on DirecTV or whatever it was called. And you could go to their little on thing and play it after hours.
Oh, that's so funny. No, that's awesome.
We're into that and like old games. This is what got us.
Oh yeah.
That's the shit right there.
Yep.
Like if you don't have the UFO and all the secret cars in this, you didn't play this enough.
D1 for PlayStation 2. Anybody that's listening is an amazing game. Actually, the girl just whipped out PlayStation 2 with the jump pad to do some DDR lately, which is hilarious. Yeah. And I was like, I was just like, holy shit. And then it spawned on me again. I was like, oh shit, D1. I got to bring that back home.
James, you need to get that for your PlayStation, buddy.
Do you have a pad? Because I thought I had a pad.
Oh yeah, we have a pad.
Bring the pad next year.
Oh god. Oh, sick. Yep.
DDR.
We got some secret stuff that's going on for next year anyway. So yeah. Ooh. Hey, speaking of that, let's talk about your final bout experience. So you as a judge in itself, how was it? And you're on the second. This is the second year that you've did it, or the third?
I think this was the third time. But I think last year I might have did it twice because I did one of the special stages and then I did the next thing.
Yeah.
It was the year before that. But yeah,
you did SSE last year, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or no, it was Central. Or I went to Wisconsin twice, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't think I did any of that.
That was last year.
Yeah.
How was that experience being a judge? And was it kind of hard to be non-biased, because now you're smart enough to understand all the different styles and things like that, but now granted, final bout for the most part, I feel like there's not many that don't get it. You know what I mean? Like they definitely they pinpoint the demographic they want, and that's what they get, and that's what makes 100%. final bout. But was it still, did you find any challenges or anything? Or
the first year was cool. Not really. To be honest, it was actually super cool to be able to be on that side of it, to see and like walk around and judge other cars and be like, they're, because with certain things, I'm like, they're just as nerdy as I am, or like,
right.
Like, like extra credit because he does that instead of like,
right.
Like in a sea of S chassis, what's actually different, like, we got a couple, different things, like you have different mirrors. Everyone else here has Ganadors. That's a big deal, like, or there's a lot of little individual things that you can find.
But I gotta say, since you painted my helmet, I've just been putting it in my car.
You definitely got
extra credit. So
you got extra credit there for sure.
Hell yeah!
But we're learning to pay off the judges. I think about $20. You know,
it always happens every year. We get paid off.
That's so funny.
But like it's also cool to be able to, like, even in the side, I guess people don't really understand this about Final Bout, but it's 50% car show, 50% driving, which is, people don't understand that a lot.
Right.
So it's kind of cool to be able to see the people who excel at the car show and then excel at driving, or the people who, like, aren't that well in the car show, but like you just like, as soon as these guys drive, it's gonna be a whole different level. You know?
Right.
It's actually very cool to see that, though, because every year the lateral, like whatever side you choose on, you kind of end up trying to balance out. So like one year, like the people who like cars kind of look poopy, but like they drove very well. They're like, damn, if we just kind of all tried a little harder in our car show, we might, next year they're like all like now liveried and stuff, and you're like, like you guys are trying. Like, it's kind of cool to see that because I guess, like I said, people don't understand that. So sometimes we've had people who are very high judge on the car show side just completely not drive well, so they don't, get high up. And I don't think there's ever been anybody kind of upset, to be honest, over at least like our judging or final about. Last one was just hard to judge because they were just driving way too good. And then we kept asking for one more time, and I guess I didn't want to more doing because in my opinion, we saw mistakes on both ends, and I'm like, okay, I can't give it to one individual. But once they like force us to like pick somebody, I immediately picked Proceed just because I saw from their cars a little bit different things.
Okay.
Like I guess I'll touch on it because to me, like in the driving aspect, they're so close, right? So then if you start picking that apart, what's different? Well, Simba has front tire smoke while he's coming up the wall. His front is so low that, like his front fenders are rubbing and he has front tire smoke. That's fucking really cool. So there was a couple things that I was like, okay, they kind of have a little bit more essence of what I personally felt what Final Bout is. Like I'm trying to see the most stylish car do the coolest thing. So then
the flare.
The flare, exactly. So to me, I personally thought that, Front Street could have been, they should have beat him way easier because their cars are supposed to be easier to drive. Right? They're doing but like, no, not like easier, but they're like higher. They're higher.
We fuck with Front Street a lot on this, so you're good to go. Well, I think we're actually gonna fight them. So
I've been trying to set up this fight for like 2 years.
Well, like I love them all, and I love Tom. I love driving with Tom. But like realistically, though, like their cars are raised up, gripped up. They're like 265s or whatever. They all, I think, probably have the same front knuckle, same alignment spec. Like super similar cars, right? But like Proceed, only 2 Sylvias or 2 S chassis, and they're completely different setups. Like they're really low or whatever. But Josh makes like 200 horsepower, and Simba makes 500 horsepower. Like kind of like not.
Oh yeah.
Then we have like a big 4-door car, and then an FRS. So like it's completely. To me, it was just like, wow, these dudes are doing that at the same level as these dudes.
Right. With similar cars. Right.
It's
really, really, people don't understand that when you have several different style and different cars completely, how hard that is to stay together and just,
and like blend a good run that like, you're like, holy crap. And you guys did a couple of good ones for the same way. And like, it's hard to be able to have like Chad up front is a little slower and Rich in the back just running everyone over, right? But like you guys had some good ones where it looks so good and it worked out so well. So we
were stoked. I mean, 3rd place for us was I was really stoked.
I was happy.
It was funny from the driver's perspective when we were down there and it was the one more times constantly. They were just so tired of driving.
That's what they were saying. I was like, dude, what do you want us to do? If I like pick one now, like and then we pick one and they were.
That was so funny.
Hurt and PJ kind of like we're trying to figure it out. And I know what to go. I don't want to try to sit here and think about this for a long time.
No, but that's funny.
That's just what I saw. I saw front tire smoke and coming up the wall, and that to me is so freaking cool. If your mirror has tire smoke on and you guys are driving door to door, like that was me.
From the grid perspective, I would have never been able to pick.
Yeah.
Like honestly, watching them go over and over, I was like, it's the fucking same.
That's what I said. I was like, dude, it's the same. Why are you going to make me pick? Now I have to nitpick specific things. And if I will, I'm like, okay, like, look at them. Like, that's kind of cooler.
Yeah.
They kind of, it looks cool. Even if you can think about the team, like, just all their wives have matching team jerseys. They all had matching team jerseys. Even the kid had matching team jerseys.
Yeah, that was so sick.
It's such a, like, that's a, that's part of it. they're a legit. They like go home as a team, hang out as a
Yeah.
team. It's like
Yep.
it makes it. It's not just hey, we put this team together for Final Bout.
Right.
That, like,
Yeah. There's
heart,
heart. There's a little
heart,
actual
exactly.
heart into it.
It's
Yeah.
cool to see like group of friends end up a Final Bout instead of like somebody making things to come to Final Bout.
Yes. Right. Yeah. It's crazy that it gets to that degree and that size that people care that much that they're like, we need to build a team. Like that's just for like to try to do that, which is really cool. I mean, it just puts that, up on a pedestal, which is really, really cool because it's something to, if you're into team drifting, like it's something to achieve. I just wonder, I sit back sometimes and I wonder with like the new kids and getting into it, if they've ever really seen actual like Japanese team drifting.
No, I don't think so. Like,
I don't think so either.
So we have a lot of interns to come here and hang out and like, you'll be surprised, dude. Like they don't know anything. Like we say remotely things and like just, Abo Moon or whatever, like, oh, Naoki. And like sometimes they only know specific people because like, oh, okay, that guy.
Right.
But like if we talk about Taniguchi or anything like Kasama, they're like, what? What are you guys talking about? Or like we like nerd out about a specific car and they're like, I don't know what that is. That's not Chelsea Nova. Like what?
It's like, not the Mustang that does wheelies?
Yeah, and then it's like it's a huge thing, and like Ryan gets really mad and be like, oh, don't talk about Chelsea, like because like it's true, and like this is maybe where it's our fault, where we're not like expressing these car builds as much as we should be, so then the media's out there so much. But like I guess we're also like there's no way we're going to be able to touch Adam LZ or even any of these current YouTubers to try to be able to come up. It'll take a long time, especially showing our aspect of drifting. Like it would be kind of hard. But like that's kind of what we need technically. It's kind of why Adam is a good person to be like even you guys having around, because he shares that so much that like most of these kids would have never gone to see that scan ever, but he has the magazine, he has a scan, so like you can share that, but like you would never even know that existed. Which is like he shares D1 GP all the time, and people are like, "What game is that?" Like that thing blows my mind. Like I think you can lose your body kit on that. Like how do you guys not know this existed?
Your mirrors fly off. It's fucking sick.
How do you not know that was a thing?
That was like my favorite. Hey, real quick before we get too far in, Caitlin's asking if there's a reason you guys judge from where you do versus the scoring tower where you could see the full hairpin.
To be honest, I have no idea.
And that would be like a Simba, Ilya.
And like I think this last one we actually asked about that, or even moving us up high, because we can't see the hairpin at all.
You guys don't judge it though, right? Like it's not part of being judged.
Like if you go by it, I don't know, but technically you can.
I mean, we drifted the whole track, so
but that's what I'm saying. So you can tell when you're coming out of it, coming up the hill, if you drifted or not. But like realistically, when we won Final Bout, so this is a like team thing, right? So when we were driving that event, the lead car, Phil, we had a conversation where like, hey, when you're coming into the hairpin, you look back. If we're not fully stacked up, you immediately slow down. And like that happened twice where he came to the hairpin, look back, I'm like a little far behind. He slows down, coming out of the hairpin, we're all stacked. And like that's the most important part. And that's where, being, thinking about team stuff, trying to be strategic about how to win, even like it's a competition at the end of the day, right? It is fun, but like you could do certain things like that, like putting the slow car front. That's a strategic move as a competition, right? To be able to stack up, So like that's how we did it. Like if there's a couple of videos that have a GoPro, whatever. As soon as we hit the thing, he goes back, looks back. No,
that's smart.
It's what he's supposed to do, and that's how like it helps to win.
Right
now, like.
It's being a team player.
Exactly. But like we didn't judge it with some other cars that we knew that they were gonna like the Miatas didn't really when they were all together, they didn't drift it like back then. But we didn't that was cool. Like it wasn't I wasn't gonna deduct points if you didn't drive the whole thing or whatever. Mainly if it's exciting for the gallery or the crowd right there in front of us and everyone, that's kind of what we want to see.
Yeah. Yep.
But like
honestly, in the spirit of Japanese stuff, like literally, like I remember watching D1 and the chase guy was offline, literally dirt dropping, but he fucking wins because it was so exciting.
Yep.
And it made sense. Like the calls are so different. So like in that same in that same style. So for the Miata guys, it did make sense. Like if they didn't want to straighten, but I mean, there's a flip side to that because like realistically, I would have straightened and then fucking hucked it at the wall.
I like that. It's more fun.
But that's not what they were doing. So you judge it on like this is their choice, this is what they're doing, as long as it's still exciting.
And it looked cool. Like a couple of times where they actually made it, we were like, "Whoa, that blew our mind. We've never seen it done like that." We were like, "Holy crap, they're gonna wreck." No way, they're punching in the straight, and it's cool, you know. Like,
like the first lap out, you're like, "Oh my god, everybody's gonna die."
Yep.
Oh, that's funny. No, that's cool as shit. Yeah, I was curious actually that too, Caitlin. That was a good question because like we were going into hairpin, like it was great because our strategy was, I said, Chad, go as fucking fast as you can. And you're good to go. He doesn't have to worry about who's behind him. You know what I mean? We got the power to keep up with him. I just needed him to move so I didn't get blocked. But I was really curious about that hairpin because like it would be kind of neat to have been scored on that, you know, like, in a way.
Stack up.
Oh, we were like, I had transitions there where I was just like on, like, I just felt so pumped. And I'm like, fuck, the judges didn't even see that. No, that's really cool.
I agree though. I wish and hopefully, and like I've never understood why we don't use the tower, to be honest, because it would, it's like right there and it would get everything. I guess maybe it's just because they want us to be close, like close to everyone. It makes a little more sense and like it's kind of fun. And I guess also if you look at like, this goes back to the people who run it and us. If you look at back the Drift Tengoku or like all the old things.
Oh yes,
the judges are always in their own little thing, kind of like that. Like
that's true.
Weird location. So
they need to put you in a more sketchy spot so you can like possibly get hit.
Anytime somebody dirt drops, you just get covered. That would be
cool. That would be cool. Yep. I mean, it's kind of sketchy there. If somebody really fucks up and has to bail, like they're going straight.
That track is sketchy, but an amazing.
No, that's cool. I wanted to jump into one of the other things that you're really, really well known for, and that is your paintwork and the inspiration behind that. When did you start painting? I know you're continuously always doing cool paintwork, which is rad. So what got you into that, and where's the inspiration? I mean, I know the inspiration is definitely like lowrider-esque. Of course, but like in the grand scheme of things from the beginning, what tipped that curiosity and got you starting to paint?
So I realistically is what we've talked about the whole time is just having pride in my car. I've never been able to afford a paint job all the time.
Okay.
But I was able to afford the tools to try to learn. And that's kind of with everything else around car related, right? With me at least, like welding and everything else, just can I do this? Or I need to do this for myself. Okay. Oh, here we are, right? So like it started just, hey, we're gonna go to Final Bar. We need all our cars to match. Okay. Like kind of like I'm gonna say a little bit before that because my car got painted by us. My friend's car got painted by us. So it's just like, hey, you know, you want a cool car? I want a cool car. Let's kind of help each other out. Let's sand this thing. Let's paint it. Like, it's just kind of went from that. And then it continued on. I wanted to go drive a lot. I would smash my front bumper every event. I would go home, fiberglass it, and repaint it just because the next event, the car had to look like perfect. Like, I think if your car comes to an event and it looks perfect, then you're good. Because if you leaves like looking like poop, it doesn't matter. You know, like, hey, it's cool. It doesn't matter. But if you show up, and even if you just zip tie the bumpers back up, or like you attempted to fix, you didn't just like, oh, now I have half a bumper. Like, you know, like you attempt to fix the car. Like it shows effort, right? So like, I always did that, which then, you know, led on to like,
you're not a stinky guy. I can already tell you.
So like it just goes into hygiene.
For sure wearing deodorant right now.
I'm not even wearing deodorant to be honest, but I don't get stinky. No, it's funny you said. I mean, that's like a big thing. Like, and see, it comes back to style. I remember watching old Japanese videos, and you'd see like one event, this guy like fucking murdered his car. Next event, he made it, but he's got like a brand new Origin front fender, but the rest is still liveried. Like everything's coming together. And then 2 events later, it's fully painted and back together. That was the exciting part for me. And back to the D1 video game, blowing off Arrow was just something that like, it's exciting. I don't know why. It happens and it sucks. And you're like, fuck, I got to do all this work again. But there's that like sense of pride. Like I'm going to do the work and make it look baller again. And look, I'm back. Yeah. So how many bumpers are we talking? Like you were going through some shit?
I mean, like, sure. I had like I had 1 real BN Sports and 3 fake BN Sports, and like I've made so many different panels from other, like I had one half a rear and then another like missing piece. So like I made a template of a bumper with fiberglass, and then just put that on the other one. Like I don't know. So like I've on my R32 at least, I tried, like I said, I tried to keep it very nice. So like that just snowballed into things like, okay, at one point in time before I was like painting, I had asked the local painter, hey, how much would a roof be? You know, and they were like, it's going to be so much money. And I'm like, nah, okay, I can't afford, you know, like I was just asking because it would be so cool. And like, and this comes from, I guess it's also generation or our era. Lower mini trucks and no-P like nationals were just like hand to hand, right? So like even me going to car shows when I was young, you know, back then, the vehicles looked like that. The paint jobs were sparkly and like way crazier than they are now, like way crazier. And I've always wanted that. Like I don't know, it just kind of sunk into my brain. Like that would be cool. So yeah, like I said, I asked a local painter, and after that, I was just like, yeah, I guess I'll try it. And I got like a helmet, I think it was. I don't remember. I've tried like a whole bunch of little small, like cooling panel for my R32 in the front. I did that first, and then like I did a helmet, and then I did another helmet, and then I was just like, oh, and then the first big project was the roof on my R32, which I was like, okay, let me try to do like huge.
Yeah.
And then I did that, which is cool because now everyone has a roof. And like when I did it, there wasn't, you know, there was maybe a couple people here who had lace and things here and there just to make it like flare, but no one realistically had like
the scalloped. A lot of people were doing. I remember lace was really big. Actually, James, even your Skyline had like lace up the side and stuff from Japan, which was pretty cool.
Like the fade going up to the roof.
Yep. The fades, like they do like a inverted fades and stuff like that. But like the scalloped style, like full taped off thing. I think yours was one of the first ones that I seen that was like, oh shit.
Yeah,
you're fucking getting it.
And like it just translates, like, and like you're saying, the Japanese people do it a lot too because they're inspired by the same things. They like American culture, so they've seen like roofs and stuff, and they're like, oh, let's put candy paint on all these drift cars and like flare them out. Like the amount of cars that like there's this I don't know if you guys know them, Freeze, the team Freeze, that like flaked out Sylvia, and like I've been friends or like talked to those guys back in the day in a long time. Like
colors are crazy. The pop,
like
is
just
insane.
like wow, dude.
Yeah.
And like, that's just huge motivation. So like I've always like translated all that into my own builds and then added my own little bit. You know, I am Hispanic, so like I've always had like a Hispanic, you know, thing. So then lowriders have been like a thing where I liked, and then the paint schemes have been even more. And I don't know. I just wanted to do it.
Oh, that's cool.
I gotta say, you are the absolute driving factor that the fact that my roof is like lowrider. Because ever since I saw your stuff, I was like, okay, it can't be that hard.
No, it really is.
That's not knocking anything from you. I just like, okay, I was like, I'll give it a shot. You know, like granted, mine is not anywhere near as intricate as yours because like I just didn't airbrush mine. It's rattle cannon, as you know, like it's all spray paint, which I still can't believe it came out as good as it did for being spray paint. But yeah, I just seeing your stuff like really motivated me to try it. And I definitely want to do more. Like the next car, I'll probably maybe invest in an airbrush or something and maybe an actual paint gun and just try some stuff.
Dude, like realistically, $12 Harbor Freight guns. Like that's
and then throw them away. Actually, warranty them once. Warranty it once. Oh wait, they do it twice. I don't remember. Harbor Freight, don't listen to this.
Well, like I did that a long time, and then like eventually I did get like one of these little things.
Yo, armpit,
like,
nice.
Like a, but like it's super. It has a very small tip, but like the first couple ones that most of the first couple ones I did were all like cheap guns. Kept ruining them, and it's just practice and just having fun. Like I always do. I tell people with everything that you do in life, technically, don't be afraid to fail. Just ruin some stuff, fuck some shit up. Who cares? Like, especially if you're just having fun doing it for yourself. Like, who cares? Like, if you're not expecting like the world to be like, oh my god, like just do it. If it's good, cool. If it's not, like you learned a lot. You know, you might have learned a new hobby, or maybe not, or just I don't know. That's like the big thing.
It's really cool that you were able to. I like that you were able to inspire Chad to just fucking, because we didn't even know. I don't even think I knew you were doing that, Chad. Honestly, you just like went gung ho.
Yep, I bought shit and I was like, let's try it.
Yeah,
I found a tutorial on YouTube, and I was like, all right, here we go.
He's like, hey, Damien, can you clear this for me then? And I was like, what the fuck, Chad? Like you went ham. That was cool. Sick. No, that's really cool. Inspiration's neat. See how that works though? You know what I mean? Like, and then now
anybody
Chad's
can
into
do
it.
Man.
Yeah.
Like I grew up with Lowrider magazine, so I've like that was the first car magazine I had was Lowrider magazine, and I've always been into lowriders. And then I saw it like getting into the drift scene, so I was like, natural progression for me to just try it, I guess.
Oh, that's super cool. You have any cool projects that you're working on currently? Like you still doing a bunch of, or does it just pop up randomly and you just kind of take it on as it comes?
I have some right here for some friends. I guess I'll try to kind of taped up a little bit, not really. Or like I got some Jay-Z ones.
Oh, sick. Yeah.
Yeah, this man's good at painting. In case y'all didn't know.
I don't know. I just get bored. I spend my time. This was whatever. So this is gonna look cool.
Yep. Already got the sparkle on it.
Yeah.
No, that's sick. No, it's really cool.
Real quick, I just want to touch on this because probably nobody knows about this video game. I played this video game a lot, CJ. Lowrider Drift game. Lowrider Magazine made it, and all you did was like bounce down the street in cool fucking cars and have to put on a show for a crowd.
That's so
If you've never seen that video game, you need to find it because it's
I feel like
wild.
I have something similar to that with the trucks, and you can like battle, like battle, and like have the truck bed thing. Is that the same game?
I believe it is because I know there was battles. There was like I don't even know how they fucking worded it, but it was like street cruises. And like you like have to do like a 3-wheel or like pancake it, and all the moves that you do in a normal lowrider. But it was like going down the street, but then there's also battle modes, and you could like customize your shit more and more and more. Like it was wild.
That's funny.
It was a Lowrider Magazine sponsored game, and it was so fucking cool. If I could find a copy of that, I would buy it, even though I don't have a PS2. That shit's fucking cool.
That's funny. we have a pretty cool question here. Let's see if we got Campo Co. Ask if he remembers hitting a tree in the middle of the road at like 1 a.m.
Yes, of course. That was like the only time I've lost a car off a trailer, yo.
And
it like really didn't lose it. And I was also towing on a dolly, and it like ruined the dolly. Then I drove the car.
Oh my god!
And then he immediately got pulled over and got like chased down. Damn. That's David Campbell too. I talked about him earlier.
Oh, okay. Yeah, nice. So I guess I do want to ask a little bit of the origin too. So did you allegedly get into this and start doing the street skids? Is that where are you from the streets, or did you go? Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
I like to ask a lot of us like, old heads, like that's where it starts. Like, cause that's,
you have to realize. So I was like 14, 13. So like even I've been into drift cars my like whole life. My first car was a Volvo 240 because I couldn't afford or find a regular 240, right? So then I was drifting in gravel parking lots as Volvo 240. And then somebody rear-ended me and totaled my Volvo 240, and I got paid out way more for the Volvo 240 than I paid for it. So then I was able to afford a coupe 240.
Sick.
So then I was like 15. I didn't even have like, I tricked my mom into letting me drive the car. Told her that I wasn't allowed to drive after dark. Like your permit, like when you're, I don't know if you guys, with your permit, you have to drive with somebody like over 21 or whatever. I was like, nah, I can drive. I just got to be home at dark. She was like, okay, cool. Because like we're Hispanic, right? We're not from America, so she doesn't know. So we were like,
thanks, mom.
So like, yeah, for sure. I was
Mom.
driving. I was, that's what I was doing. Like, so the whole entire time it's been S chassis and 240. So back then we didn't have that many events, and we had more like open lots and places where you could actually like practice at night and be able to get some stuff going.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a good time.
Did you intersect with Adam at all?
Yeah, dude, I've known Adam for so long.
That's super cool. Yeah, that's super cool.
Like, I've known Adam. So I don't know if Adam talked about his coupe or whatever. He had a coupe, pink wheels, pink CR Kais, right? I actually have the CR Kais because I wanted him back in Atlanta. So like when he sold the car, I like followed dude who bought it, like bugged him about the wheels, bugged about the next person who bought the car about the wheels, and I was just like, yo, and then I eventually got the wheels.
No shit.
Like, yeah, like, so it's like I've known him since the wheels have been around. So it's been like a long, like it's been quite a while.
Yeah. So. No shit. That's really cool. That's neat to see that, you guys have been together since like forever and like back and forth, and now you ended up working together. Like that's really cool. Neat, and still staying cool. How was the street scene back then?
To be honest, pretty heavy because we had like one parking lot in the city that like you can literally pull up and just drive, and the cops didn't care.
Oh, that's nice.
Like that. So like we just Sunday mornings we would go to this place. Yeah, see. Sunday morning we would go to this place and like you could drive this parking lot or whatever like a lot. But then there was like multiple, and like Atlanta's kind of, Georgia is based around Atlanta. So like everyone's around Atlanta. So then you have like different crews in different areas, right?
Yeah.
So like I could come over here and then Adam might have like a couple of different spots. They were definitely a little different, but if we went to like my side, we'll have like, a couple of different spots.
Oh, that's neat.
Like I had a hatch. I blew up. Here's the funny. David Campbell is on here. Me and David Campbell build one of my SRs probably in like 2010 maybe. And the way that I broke it in is I drove it all the way to our mountains.
Okay.
And it's probably about 2.5 hours. So we drove to the mountains. At the mountains, by the time I got there, it was like I've driven long enough.
So then, that was breaking, right?
I was breaking. Yeah. So then,
it's good to go.
Let's be a really cool foggy night, and it was like multiple of us, and we just did a couple up and down runs on it, and that's how I like broke in that engine. And
that's cool.
We've done a couple of those like cool. We have like some cool tailgates here, but they get driven a lot. So like they're like famous. We have like something called Blood Mountain and stuff like that. It's like famous. You can look it up, and there's like a whole. Like Adam LZ drives his Porsche like all the time or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Like it's like a whole thing.
No shit.
So like you can go to those. Back then it was easier to go to these places and get some laps in. Now in the day, now it's a little bit different because now we have takeovers and stuff where like it's kind of scary. Like before I used to run around in like a fully like my R32. I street drove that car full livery. Nobody ever said anything.
Right.
My S14, I like drove it like twice and I got pulled over.
Yeah.
They were just, what's up? Like
singling. Yeah, we're getting singled out now.
Yeah.
Because they can't differentiate between the bad eggs and even though, I mean, given the opportunity, we'd probably still do some shit, but it's 100%. Way different. Like
I'm gone.
Completely different. Right.
Not the same intersection. I'm gone.
Right. No, that's funny. Yeah, that's a shame. It's funny because I think back to like how much I wish I could go back and when it was like different times and with all the stuff that I have now and that I'm doing and hit the spots that like I know for a fact would be safe for hours.
Shit,
like
I agree. Like fully. the road I used to live, like my mom's house right now. I used to drift that road like every time in a stock hit. Or like now, if I think about my S14 and I hit that thing, it would be like one of those Appalachia Toge things. It would be insanely fun. But like, I don't. At this point in my life, I'm not really willing to risk my S14 and like everything over getting like 3 turns.
Right. It is neat that places are starting to, and it's because of like the old guys, you know, that get some of this stuff, that they're doing like Drift Appalachia. You know what I mean? Like that's, I really hope that like continues and actually inspires other people around the areas. Because I was always curious about like where we live. We're really close to a place called Reading, Pennsylvania, where they have the Dorrier Hill Climb. Now, granted, it's not like the best place to do like drift event stuff, but it still has a couple decent turns. But I just keep thinking about like, hopefully this kind of stuff keeps growing and more organizers or coordinators can be like, yo, we should do some cool mountain runs or some street sections, you know, like back in the day, I can't remember what track it was, but one of the competition tracks was a street course. Where was that?
Like
in America? Remember that? Yeah, in America.
We had multiple. We had that Detroit one.
That's it. Detroit. That's
Detroit,
what I'm
like
thinking
where they
of.
had like a pro-am thing, and I mean, I believe they had.
It's like curbs and all. Like if you fuck up, you're hitting a curb. Like that shit's
pretty rad,
right?
MDU.
Yeah. That's going back. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Streets of Detroit. Is that what it is? We just had that.
I think so.
Yeah.
No, dude, they were like in the streets. Like he's talking about the streets. Like you're jumping, like you're hitting a curb. Like the outside zone is a curb.
That's sick.
No,
like,
it was
everything on the line.
Right? It's like a pro-am event, not like just a regular event. Like they were really going at it.
Yep.
That's sick.
Yeah. Remember, I think Reese Marin. Doing stuff out there a lot. And every single time I saw the layout, I'm like, this is fucking crazy. It's just a street, you know? Like, no, but that's pretty neat. It's definitely cool. So who the people behind Drift Appalachia, which I think it's Brian Edgert and Edgar from Drift Indy, I think, are doing it. So good for them. Really cool idea. And I can't wait to see some more media. Like the shit's coming out. What do you guys have? What's like your local tracks and stuff?
We have like technically in Atlanta, just like in Georgia, we have, I would say 3 things that we drive in Atlanta, but there's multiple other things. So we have, I guess maybe 4. Okay, I'll try to explain it. We have Lanier Speedway, big oval across the street from Road Atlanta. Road Atlanta, it's amazing. We don't drift there ever. Grid Life was the only way that we got to drift. Jeez. And like that's not coming back. It's just way too costly to rent that track and be able to afford drifting or whatever. Like, there would never be an event there. Like, it would cost so much money.
Yeah. You said Linear.
Yeah, Linear Speedway.
That's
where the iTrack is, right?
That's
iTrack thing.
Yeah, they don't do it there anymore. But yeah. Like,
now
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I always see the snake plastic fences like that. I'm always like, this stuff looks so cool. You can build whatever you want. Like, it's a good playground.
You can hit those things and it'll ruin your car. And if you ruin it too much, you got to pay for the barrier too. So.
Oh, jeez. That's funny.
But so we have that, and then we have another like oval thing called Watermelon Speedway, or I think it's called Chris Motors. I don't know. So we have like. Multiple ovals, and then we have this other. We have AMS, which is like a NASCAR track that has parking lots, so we get to drift a parking lot in there, and then they have like a road course that's like 3 turns. It's okay.
Yeah.
And we have this really. It's called Atlanta Motorsports Park, which is like this bad and bougie like country club.
Gotcha.
And before we only got to drift 4th of July because where it's at, they have noise ordinance, so they can't like drifting too loud, right? So like we're not allowed to do that there. But on 4th of July, because of fireworks everywhere, the city's like, oh cool. So like we've had some events there, and that track is fucking nuts. Like it's so cool. There's like a huge carousel to like a downhill, and you're flying. So like it's like a huge elevations, super fast track.
Oh yeah.
So it's fun. We have that, but like I said, we don't barely get to drive it. And now, because of how Georgia's placed, we have so many other states around us that we have all these other places to go. Like Mid-Con is not a Georgia track, but like everyone goes to Mid Pond. It's like that's where we're going this weekend. It's like an hour and a half from here.
It's funny because I thought
That's
that was in Georgia because you guys are like down there, and I see all like you know what I mean. I was just like assuming before that. What is that? Wait, not Arkansas. Alabama. Yep.
Yeah.
Arkansas. I know maps.
That's close.
I'm a fucking idiot. Yeah, no, that's sick. Yeah, I always thought that was literally Georgia. That's sick. So that's a nice short drive.
Yeah. So we have that, and there's like in the Tennessees and everything. In Florida, there's a couple of tracks where everything's kind of like a couple hours. So like you can, 3 to 4 hours around. You can go drive.
Yeah, I was just listening to Rich's podcast with Palmer, and it seems like from the West Coast perspective, we are fucking it. Like East Coast has it.
We have so many tracks.
We have so many fucking tracks.
Yeah. So I'm saying, like, for me, I can pick any weekend to drive because I can like pick a state. Okay, let me drive 2 hours away to Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina, whatever, Florida, Alabama, and like drive. And then we have events here too. So yeah. So it's kind of cool where we're located. And I know, like, the further north you go, there's also more tracks. I think we have way more circle tracks than they did. So we have a lot of old circle tracks and parking lots that we get to use. So, like, but they got cool racetracks over there, dude.
Yeah, no, that's the thing.
Like, the West Coast has cool racetracks. We have a lot of ovals and parking lots.
Yes. Yeah, I think sometimes when they hear about all the tracks too, they're probably not thinking that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they're just like, oh man, you got this, and then this, and then this.
It's like,
bro, it's just a parking lot, dog.
It's a fucking oval. You can put cones and make it look cool, but like
they get it though too. There's a lot of guys out there that understand. Like, I mean, a skid pad can be really rowdy if you set up a really cool layout. Like, so what's your favorite that's in like a decent like radius of you? What would be your top 2 favorite tracks to go to?
AMS or Atlanta Motorsports Park, the one that we only get to drift like once or twice or whatever. That to me has been, it just feels so cool. Top of third, big flick down a hill. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's cool.
I guess Mid Pond is fun. Fun fact, I actually named it Mid Pond.
No shit.
It got found by somebody. Cool. They were running events, and one of my friends, the dude who runs iTrack, hit me up. He's like, "Yo, what are we naming this track? There's a pond in the middle of it." And he sent me the aerial shot, and I was like, Mid Pond Circuit. Literally what I was like. Immediately, I was like, Mid Pond Circuit. Like,
damn, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So like, yeah, that was the thing. And then the dude who owns the place and that guy like fought about the name, and I'm just over here like,
That's so crazy. Yeah, that's definitely neat. So I really want to drive Mid Pond.
Mid Pond is fun. But like realistically, I'm gonna say if I get to drive, if we got to drive Road Atlanta and Atlanta Motorsports Park like all the time, like those are like Road Atlanta, like what you see in FD coming down and you swing down that hill, it's so freaking cool.
Yeah, I can't imagine the actual like degree that it is too. You know what I mean? Like you watch it and it's like,
oh yeah, you're like
going down, but like driving something like that's probably pretty sick. Like the momentum drift too. Like once you flick it, the weight's just like hanging there.
Yeah, you just slide.
Yeah,
it feels really cool. And then, but like then there's parts of that track that most people don't know. The S's in the back are super fast and sketchy. And
nice.
That's like, to me, it was so much fun because you're like, I don't know if you've ever played it on a Seto, trip the S's in the back or whatever, and like in real life, dude, you're coming down that hill. You're just like, if I do anything, I'm dying. And then the way that you hit the bottom of the hill and you come up, like the car just feels so weird, and you're just like flying up a hill.
That's cool.
I don't know. I really, if we got to drive, those are like my 2 favorite tracks. Yeah. But like realistically, linear can become anything. So like we've made it Mihan, we made it Tomato, we made it like our dream track. So like it's good on tires. It's down the street. I used to drive because I before I worked here, I lived closer to it. Even when I worked here, I lived closer to that. So I used to drive my R32 with the tires in it, and just drive all day, drive home. It was just so nice to be able to do that. So like Lanier is just such a cool place just because of that.
Yeah,
but it's just it's just like a parking lot though. So like, unless we make it something exciting, it's kind of like,
Sure.
eh.
Yeah. No shit. So what? So out of all the tracks that you've ever driven in your drifting career, what is your favorite track? Like if you had to pick one. It's hard because every place has such a different vibe.
Like different things. Like it depends what I'm doing. Like I'm gonna give you two. If I'm gonna drift with friends, US Air has beat most tracks because it gives you everything that you need. Like it has elevation changes, it has fast and slow turns, has hairpins or whatever.
Yeah.
If it's by myself, I'm gonna say Road Atlanta, just because of the sheer amount of fun that you can just have going fast. Like I don't need to have somebody behind me. Like, if I'm going 100 miles entry, like I'm just like wee, like that's fun. Like I don't need a dude behind me to like,
No, sure. Yeah.
At least that's it.
No, that's super cool. How is the scene currently down there? Like, dude, it looks like from like what you guys post at the shop, it looks crazy. Yeah, I'm like stoked on, and of course I'm judging. So I'm judging on the cars that are pulling in because everything's styled up. You know what I mean? So I'm like stoked. I don't see anything that looks meh. Like it looks like around the shop and the surrounding area a little bit looks like it's pretty nice.
I mean, we have it all. We have it all. We have it all. We have it all. Like there's cars that come beat up, but we have a lot of that we try to promote. Those are the kids that we're trying to. Hey dudes, we got kids in stock.
Right.
Come pick up a kid. Come grab some vendors. That's like the reason why we're trying to do that. Because then those guys are like, oh, okay. I smashed my rear end. What do I do?
Sure.
We have a healthy scene here of people who really like their cars and appreciate it and have nice cars, and then we have the same scene with just people who want to just drift. Right. Every time I go to a drift event, there's hundreds of new guys that I've never seen, and just going, simple. Like I said, right now, if you talk about Missile Crisis, 350Zs and BMWs.
Yeah.
Every time you go.
Yeah.
And you know what's cool too now? I look at track. A whole bunch of Miatas are starting to show up. Like a lot of Miatas. Like last time we do like clinics and stuff like that. The last time I helped, there was 5 Miatas, and it was really cool to like, okay, dude, you have a turbo, but your friend doesn't. So like, you shouldn't try to do the same thing he's doing. Like like try to drive different. Like so we have. I think we have like we have a really healthy, at least drifting scene here.
Sure.
And then we have a lot of we have older heads like us that follow along with the habit. It's a lot of them. It's not just us. There's like Top Garage, who's also like older head though. Like
the
Team Rowdy guy Team Rowdy's kind of core work still. Like technically that's a team. That's a Team Rowdy car, but like it's Tyler's, so it's core works. But like, so we have influences like that by the older cars, like your car.
That's cool. Yeah.
So like, and like, we used to push that a lot. Where like I said, I would come to an event, destroy my car. Next event, my car looks the same. Come to an event. There's as soon as you walk in, the 5 cars all look the same, livery the same. The next 5 cars all livery look the same. Like they're different teams. So like we have like everyone else is like, oh, we have to follow suit. So like we have the younger generation coming.
You're inspiring.
Yeah, and like we understand it.
You guys are doing a good job. It's funny because I love to hear the similarities between what you guys do and what we were doing. Because at our local place, we try to put like us and Team Hayes. We always we basically help run like the Pocono events and stuff. And what we do is we like hot pit our cars all parked together.
And we with us. And the promoters help out because now they're like, hey, we want you guys here. Right. And then when everyone else comes in, even if they're just regular spectators, now you're like, oh, those are really cool cars.
Yep. And then I always just think like, if somebody's coming into that place and the first thing they do is they turn down this lane and they see that, it's like a spike of adrenaline. You're like, oh shit, and then the guys that want to start driving or the guys and girls that are already driving and they see us lining up. I always think like I'm in the back of my head, I'm like hoping that they're just like, that's sick. I want to aspire to get with my friends and do something like this level. And it's just it's really cool. So it's funny that you guys do the same thing. Cause
we have, and we try. I'm gonna say lately we have been a little. Everyone's getting older, so less people are like whatever driving like that in team situation. At least
sure.
It's harder to get your teams up, but
but still lining up the nice cars, the OGs.
So like even in that sense, though, we have now younger groups. Like we have a kid like this little. I'm trying to remember their crew or whatever, but they drive these yellow cars all livery. They're like 15, 16, 17.
I think I drove with them at Tennessee.
Yeah,
the
probably.
little Miata and the RX-8.
The little Miata and RX-8, dude. Jake, I think is his name. Jake Clark, right? In the Miata, dude. Those are like
super nice.
Little, the young, like they're like, oh, they see
That's
what
so
we
cool.
do, and they immediately translate. The Ballhead kids are all the same way. Like Bryson from Ballhead or whatever, like he was so young in my car, like. How do I do it? And I'm like, come on, like, get in the car, let's go. He's been on all my cars, so like, let's do this. And now he drives hard, and like their whole team has a vibe. They try to do fun about, and it's like, it happens. It's cool to see that
inspiring as we get older, inspiring. Like you feel super proud when you see youngins coming up and embrace something. Like we've got a few that reached out, even like to me personally, when they saw what we started to do team wise, and they're just like, hey, we want to get serious. How do we do this? And I was just like, I don't know, it's so taken back. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's crazy because I still have everybody I look up to. You know what I mean? I'm like, you can look up to me. I'm a fucking idiot.
That's how I feel.
But it's so cool, and it's neat to see where they're at in their journey. You know what I mean? Like it just and push just a little bit of that extra push. Like we have a local team here, which was kind of at first I didn't really enjoy the name. Now I keep looking back, but they were called Missile Mentality, and their cars were fucking demolished. Like they drove hard. I always used to be like, guys, you are fucking slaying it. But imagine if you're slaying it in nice looking cars. Right. and just last year, they all were like the burnt orange, kind of like Sandra's, right? Yeah. Like that burnt like color. Yeah. They're all like BMWs. But they were all painted nicely. And I saw them at this track, and I was just like, fuck yeah. Like I felt really good for them because I know that like experience of pulling up, like the first time you pull up with your homies and you're all together and you look the same, that sense of pride is like, it's fucking, even though like everybody sucks. Like I hate Chad, I hate James, but like, no, but like, it's just something special about that. It's very fun.
It's fun.
Even if you're not driving together at that point in time, just sitting there is really cool. But no, that's cool. I'm glad. Yeah, that was wild. I met them in Tennessee.
Yeah, they're super dope kids.
Yep.
And we have like a lot of those small little groups, obviously, because there's you can't influence everyone, right? So like we can't try to put, it's hard to show, especially since it would be easier to influence more people if we were driving way more, right? If I was at the track, every event where these new kids come in, every event they're like, whoa, it's hard for me to do that now, right? But now we have those kids, right? So now those kids are coming in. The next group are like going like, y'all got matching cars and y'all all door to door. I want to do, I want to do that.
Right.
So being able to get those kids and pick those kids and actually teach them the right things, even just support them the right way. We actually support that Jake kid here a lot, and he's actually sponsored by us because he's going to do professional drifting or whatever because he's a good driver.
Cool.
So like we support the youth like that a lot because it's good. It's like, it's super cool to see like like this young generation like do, especially how we do it. There's but like they're using the same stylish ideas, their same liveries, same let me paint my car to match. They're hanging out together. It feels you feel their vibe. I don't know. I really like it.
Yeah. I think he actually came out. He knew Rich. probably from talking to him about maybe pro stuff or something.
Yeah,
And he came out to another event too that was like super far away, and I was like, holy shit, bro. Like he came out just to like hang out and get some ride-alongs and stuff. Very, very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah. Those cars are sick. Actually, I messaged Chad about that from that Tennessee event and was like, yo, you should see these fucking cars.
Yeah.
And this Miata, like, you know,
like turbo thing, dude. He
yeah.
and that RX-7 is super simple and he rips.
So speaking of inspiration, so it's really cool to see that, you know, you guys are holding it down, inspiring, and then as you inspire again, those kids and everybody will start to inspire the next. But for you personally, what was like your inspirations within like style or, you know, anything in the back in the day? Was it option video? Was it, you know, what it was an option video? It usually is for like older.
For all of us that are into drifting, that have been for that long, it's the only like source of media and source of like anything that we had, right? So
James, I'm doing that. You're something in the background is really loud, so I was just telling you.
Like, is it? Chat said it earlier. Like my shit is muted. My shit is supposed to be muted.
Yeah,
it's flashing. Can you hear me right now?
I can hear you. You're probably not going through that microphone. Check your settings.
I've been going through this microphone all fucking night. I quit.
That's so funny. Sorry, Sebastian. What were you saying?
Oh, good. What were we talking
about? Your inspiration. So D1 videos, stuff like that.
Well, yeah. So like high school me, the only form of inspiration that I could have seen was option.
Yeah.
Literally YouTube or like other websites that you had to download it, or like streetfire.net or weird.
Streetfire, bro.
You know, like that's the only way you can watch that stuff. That's what you're talking about. True. So like you can only see it through that. So you get snippets of things. And that's how it became just like obsessive over that stuff.
I wonder if that still exists.
Damn. I don't know. Look at
that's funny.
So like that is what, you know, for most of us who started it, that's the only like it's the only ideas that we have. Like, you know, so it's like Abo's, you know, R32 was the only inspiration that I already had in my hand when I had an R32, or even for me the one in R32. So like whenever I'm gonna buy this car, I'm in my brain, I already have this picture of the car because it's already been built, and like no one else in America has that. I'm gonna replicate it. Like
you knew the formula.
It's so easy, and like it continues on. And this is like when I talk about Dustin and him, like the kid. The formula was already done by somebody else. Like if you, my coupe followed Naoki's and like the Osaka style car. So like D-Max Type 3, fucking 5070s, really bright or super like deepish wheels. Like very, like it matched those points of those cars. As soon as Naoki got sponsored by Origin, he did aggressive. That's literally what I told Dustin. Like you need to do aggressive next. It already knows. Like if you look at Naoki's car, it's gonna look so good. No one. So like it's just the same thing. Like even my S14. I was in California doing Formula D or when the last season of the event or whatever. And I don't remember what I was looking at, but I was looking at old cars or whatever, and I was like, I kind of want to build.
You were spotting for Dustin, right? Is that what you're
doing?
I
was spotting, or I was working for, because we have like CoreWorks has had like race teams, right? So like we have done like Ryan Little, Nick Novak, what's his other name? Alec Robbins, Dennis Marston, and so we've had like multiple people. Blake Olson.
Wow.
Like we help out to a degree, right? So like every event, if I'm like, hey, I'll help Blake or I'll help whoever, you know, like there's been events where I've helped Pro Spec and Pro Am or Pro. Like I'll do Dustin and then run and help CoreWorks with like Ryan Little from Had the Z.
Right. Yeah. Just run and drive back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah. So then so like that all while I was doing that, I was like, I want to build a pro car, right? Or like pro like mentality. That's all the cars cage. Like all my other cars have like Final Bout mentality or like JDM race car. Bolting cage is a real cage, you know.
Right.
That's like, you know, like you full interior, everything works, cool seats. Like,
Yeah.
but like the mechanicals of the car, like the R32 is a full race car other than full interior. Like if you think, like I say that all the time, like some of our cars, if we just take out the interior and just add a roll cage, they're full race cars, 500 horsepower, you know, every suspension arm, like it's a race car, right?
Yeah.
But this car, I was like, okay, I want to do the cage thing. But then what pulled the trigger is that there's this group of cars called Garage D Friends. And like I don't remember if I was just watching Option or what happened, but like the cars came to mind again. And I was immediately like, okay, I'm literally building this car. Like my car looks like exactly like those cars, just not orange. If I paint my car orange, it's a Garage D Friends car. Like it really is.
Yeah.
Like
that's cool.
There's a recipe for all of it. There's a formula. Like, it's so easy to follow. Like people have done it. You just, make it your own a little bit, right? That's what I did.
Right. Yep.
So like that's literally all so like I said, I saw that. Like I have those pictures. I even just shared it a couple days ago. But like on the drive home, I like bought a car. Like I hit up my friend. I was like, I know you have an S14. Let's do this. I hit up multiple people by the Arrow. I hit up Justice Street. I was like, I need this USGT. I need all this right now. Like
right. Yeah.
The car got built. Literally, I built that car in 6 months for a final bout for Special State South, I think it was, in Texas at one point in time. But like, it was very easy to build the car because I already knew
the
like
formula.
what it's supposed to look. Yeah, like just do this, and everything else comes along too. Like, okay, I'm doing professional drifting. I should do this to this to this, so then it makes it easier to work on. I should do this and this and this, so then it's reliable.
Right.
I like sway bars. I don't understand how people don't run sway bars. So all my cars have sway bars. So like there's certain things that have to get done to cars. So.
It's funny the way you say that because it is so true. And I've been asked before too. They're like, "How did you decide on this, and this?" And it's like, well, it's already been done. Like it's been done better than I can do it. You know what I mean? Like
that's how I feel.
We're just inspired by and then putting our own little twist on it. To just make it our own, but it's you can't do anything way out of line anymore. Like everything's it's been done. Japan has 2006. They already capped it. Yeah, it's capped. There's nothing new, and if it is, it's so minutely. That's pretty wild. It's funny you mentioned Dennis Martzenis. He was one of the first guys to inspire me in saying fuck everything and just go nuts. He came up to 240SX meet I had when I was really young, like not even like doing like I thought I was a drifter by doing donuts in the back of an Advanced Auto Parts. You know what I mean? Like I was a drifter. And he came up from Georgia. He drove all the way up to Pennsylvania to meet me and Matt Walden, if you know who Matt Walden is.
I think so.
So he was friends. I didn't know Dennis. Dennis knew Matt. And Matt was like, yo, we're hanging out in Reading. Come up. So he drove his red S14 all the way up, bald rear tires. And then we went to, remember that Duryea hill climb thing I was telling you about?
Yeah.
We went there and him and Matt Walden destroyed the mountain. And then he had to drive up to like, I don't know where he was going from there, but like he was making his way to like the pro stuff. Like he was going up somewhere. And but that no fucks, like he literally drove from Georgia in that car, packed. Like there was like luggage and all sorts of shit in the back. And then hit the mountain with Matt Walden, like door to door, and then just was like, all right, cool guys, see you later. I got to keep driving. And I was like, fuck, I want that mentality, like I need to, that's so crazy. That's a throwback. I'm sorry. That got me excited.
I mean, I don't know if you know who Andy Sapp is, if you want to throwbacks.
I do remember Mr. Andy Sapp. Yep. Actually, somebody just said about drift mechanics.
Yeah, that's
in
actually
the chat.
Look, right.
Slide America. That's his actual, is it the 46?
That's the car. That's the car right there. That thing
has. Oh, that's so crazy. That has so much history.
It does. It has, let me see if I can zoom in. And the roll cage, it's kind of hard to see, but in the roll cage, it has like 2006 like Formula Drift. You can kind of see the sticker right there on top. But yeah, that thing is.
Yeah, because he's. I guess so it's another.
That's an FD car.
Local.
Yeah, he's our friend, local. So that's an FD car, right?
Wow.
NA stock engine.
Just exactly how it should be still today.
I think he didn't know how to he couldn't use the e-brake for like the first year of Formula Drift because he didn't know that you were supposed to take out the ABS thing, and then he finally figured it out. And
Yeah.
No, but like, yeah, like, so we've been around this like drifting, especially the people who have been around a long time,
right,
for like quite a while now. So like, even CoreWorks, this building, most of these people here have been around for so long, and they were part of drifting that's been around for so long. So like drift mechanics and all those people are like friends of ours from back then, who are like, you know, now are just professionals or completely something else, and they do amazing job of what they do. But it's crazy, like, at least for me, to be able to look at like Andy's car and stuff like that all the time.
No, that's super. Yeah, I had no clue. That's really, really cool. And yeah, he was another wild boy.
For
I remember, and people, if you don't know who Andy Sapp is, if you ever seen the Bloodmasters famous video that they did at their track, he's the one hanging on the net like a madman while they drift underneath him.
Yeah.
No, that's really cool, man. That's really neat. The inspiration. Yeah, I'm just blown away. That's really, really cool. I'm stoked on that. And also just bringing back some memories for me. I'm like getting a little nostalgic here.
Yeah, right. We're getting old. We've been around, like,
dude,
it's so hard to think about it, but it got introduced to drifting quite early now to think about it, for like someone like me at least, because it was so small from when I first started, or even when we first started, to what it is now. Dude. Like, it's crazy. Like, some of these people who we were talking about, even like if you think about Vaughn and like people like that who were friends with us before like going so big and continue, you're just like, well, Hurt's like our friend, just from being our friend. Like, literally, he's from our group friends. Like, he's Team Rowdy. He hangs out in that part of like Formula D. At Formula D, there's a big booth, and it's like a Team Rowdy 10. You guys have probably all seen in the background. Like, it's a big community of like all these old heads that been into drifting for so long. And like, when I was little, I was looking up to him. Like, the dude who owns this place, or Tyler, R.I.P., passed away or whatever. I look up to all of them so hard when because I was like, you know, I was young. They were only a couple of years older than me, but like, when we were coming up, they had an SR sub. We're like, oh, you know, they had the big wheels before we did. We're like, you know, that was huge. It was huge. So, like,
that's super
Andy,
cool.
like, it's crazy the amount, like, he inspired all of us. We were just like, look where we are now. Even Formula D, like, the first place was Road Atlanta. Like, they built that thing just for it.
That's so crazy. I remember the Team Rowdy stuff. Actually, I was introduced to Hurt through Hater Dan, if you know who Hater Dan is. Hater Dan was always giving out Team Rowdy stickers up at Club Loose. Like, he was all these little tiny box stickers everywhere. And we used to like plaster them, even did like a whole hood of just Team Rowdy stickers. But I remember playing Forza 3, I think, with Dan and Hurt, and because he was like big Forza nerd. And like, it was always Rowdy, like Team Rowdy, Team Rowdy, Team Rowdy. That's all it was. So that's crazy. Small world, but also really cool.
Well, it's like, if you look back at American drifting, there's not that many people who started it or were part of it, right? And Team Rowdy's one of those. So there's like Pink Godzilla on the West Coast, and like, you know, the couple of individual teams that if you know, you know. But those people have been around for so long. They're like, they were the ones who started a lot of it. You know, like, for us at least, like Team Rowdy and like the whole drift mechanics, they like started it. Like, they made a whatever drift and like, that's a huge documentary about us, right? About drifting, period. Like, and they did that. That's here. And so,
no, that's crazy.
It's crazy. It's crazy to think like young me would never believe like he would be here.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's really cool. That's one thing also to keep in mind, I think, when we talk to the younger generation that are coming up. You know what I mean? To think of where people are when they first start. It's kind of hard because sometimes I'm like, I go right to like, yo, your car looks like shit. You need wheels. And it's like, well, they might not be there, because I remember being super young and like, I couldn't afford any of this shit. But like, yeah, no, that's really cool. Speaking of Pink Godzilla, man, that was a fucking throwback too. Brian's S14 was like the staple of what you should do with an S14.
I mean, any of his 180s. If you don't have a 180, you've never seen any one of his cars, like you,
Mhm.
I don't know what you Googled, like, if you look at Millennium Jade 180SX, I feel like his car will pop up right away. It's like one of the only ones that ever said that. And like,
Mhm.
they were also such influence of style. He never
Yes.
had an SR. Dude had a K the whole time. Drove,
Yep.
hard to his
Yep.
times, but
Right.
car looked amazing.
Yeah, always amazing. Man, that's so crazy. I
And
love
then
this. I love this fucking. This is
Getting
making me
old is
feel.
wild.
I'm really old, but I just it's cool because it brings me back to like the feeling of when I first started like getting on the internet and taking inspiration from stuff. You know what I mean? Like seeing the stuff for the first time was like just crazy. You're like,
Dude,
whoa, I didn't know you could do that. Like and
that's the
now
thing.
it's oversaturated now. Like the kids coming up are like fucking. I almost feel bad for them. I just spit everywhere.
You sure did.
You see that? It was like,
Yo, I saw it.
But no, it's insane. I don't feel bad for them. I mean, honestly, I'm jealous because they have everything
I'm
at their
jealous.
fingertips.
It was
But I feel a little bad for them because they're guided in so many different directions, and they can't single out stuff to take the traditional beauty of things. It's like you're bombarded with everything now. Versus like back then when you have to search and search and search. It's like you had an SC300. It was hard. Like to get styling ideas or even to find out what aero this car has because you fucking love it and you want it, but you couldn't find it. Like there's no way to figure that out.
Here's a story of like, okay, mid-mount SR20. That's a noise that everyone wants to want now, right? At one point in time, nobody knew what that was. At one point in time, I tried. I had to ask multiple Australians, multiple people in Japan, what the manifold was called, and they would just call it Qs.
Okay.
And then I later find out it was a thrust manifold, and then later I find out, like, and later I found one, and like it was like a white Rhino turbo kits. It was like, whoa, nobody's ever had one of these.
Right.
Like I don't know anybody else who's put one on a left-hand drive car, but like. You listen to Naoki's car, you listen to all these old Japanese cars, and you just hear that noise. You're like, why? I need that. Back then, it was you couldn't. Right now, you go on an Instagram post, and you ask somebody, and they're like, oh, it's got this, Naoki spec car. Here's all his list. Like you don't have to. It's not that hard.
No, now you have pages dedicated to a build. Oh, you want to build your car exactly like Naoki?
No.
Here's a fucking. Here you go. ABC all the way down.
Adam knows everything. Just ask him.
Yeah, that is true. Just ask Adam.
So, dude, it was. I mean, at least for me and us, it was fun to try to find that. And then when when my car was like mid-mounted, just the noise it made got me so freaking excited. Like I'm still so nerdy about it just because of that. Like it was such a rare, unique part that no one else, not that no one else had, but it's just not like. It wasn't common, everyone else had the same Megan Race manifold on their SR20 because that's what you can buy here.
Right.
But like, if you were a nerd, you were like, okay, let me find these Japanese parts or whatever,
There's definitely a rush to being like, rush in that fact of being like, wow, I'm probably one of the only ones that has this in America.
Yes.
Like that chase is really cool. I see that with a lot of kits. Like I don't know, like James has that Car Modify Wonder kit. Like you don't see that very often. You know what I mean? So it's really neat to see the Car Modify. And like there's a few others, but like it's not that common. So like when you would get a rare aero mirror, or like I remember my first arc cooling panel for my SR, and I was like, I'm fucking balling out. You know what I mean? But nobody knew. You know what I mean? Back then, you knew because you took pride in figuring out how to get it. Like I remember nerding out over Power Enterprise belts, and I spent way too much money on fucking belts when I could have just went to like Napa and spent like $15.
Same belt made by Gates, just not branded the same. Yeah, no, I fully agree.
It was $100 belt, and it was blue, so I was like, sick. Yeah,
fully agree, dude. Sanders got HKS belts, and they're expensive for no reason. But
like
that comes with a lot, dude. Like the seats, like I used to nerd about way more old car parts. Like I have a huge collection of rare parts just because like it wasn't really rare for us back then. It was just harder to obtain because it wasn't the like Hitmans and all these crazy steering wheels. They were like thousands of dollars. They were like $200 back then. It was just you couldn't get them from Japan, right? You couldn't physically get on. Right now, I can get on, like, buy you whatever and buy from Japan right now. Back then, you couldn't do that. You had to have a person. This is why Justice Streeter has made so much money and is a common known name, at least to some of us, because he was the person. You email him, he's like, "Oh yeah, I got it," and you paid nothing. And like, dude, I've bought seats like those like the holding monster ones. They're rare zeros. I bought them from Thailand. I've bought them from Japan. I've bought them from Korea. Like, I've bought them from so many different places because back then it was so hard to like acquire these things, right?
Oh,
if you found one, you're like, I got in weird apps, and so I can talk to these people because they want to talk. Like, I mean, like, they're like, it's like a full-on Korean ad. They're not like trying to sell it. I just stumble upon YouTube or Google, name the zeros and translate it to this, to that, and then like their ad comes up, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
But like, the funny part is like now the same, like, these Thailand people or whatever that I bought this seat from like way back then for like $500, right, shipped to my house. The same people now have an Instagram, and the same people are selling the same seat for like $2,000 now, because now it's like, it's now everyone wants it, and it's now so much easier to get things where the prices for things are skyrocketing. Like, I know we all regret selling things because you can't buy anything now without paying so much money for it.
Yeah, the taxes.
The taxes are crazy.
It's also crazy to see the different generational stuff, because we all deal with different eras, like when we were coming up. Like, I know Chad loves the APC stuff, and it's so cool to see. You know what I mean? Because I've literally used to sell that in my store, and it's trash.
Dude, we have so many APC clear steering wheels just in the back of, like, just for no reason.
Yep.
Like,
but it's like
that steering wheel's probably $50 brand new.
Yeah.
And I paid way more than that from a guy in France.
Yeah.
For that fucking steering wheel. Like,
Mikey's got one too.
Yeah.
That's
he's the same way. He's like, you nerd over something, but it's generational things. And it's funny, and it sucks because it's getting way harder. Just because they're more expensive, and I guess it's because it's easier to get these things, right?
Yeah, well, because you can search now and you hit everywhere in the world, where before you got nothing.
Internet.
The internet
your area. It's helped so much in certain places, and then it screwed us in a lot of other places. I would say, like, back, like, all the cool parts that I've ever wanted for like my SRs or my cars have always were so cheap, and now all these parts are like unobtainium. Like, people ask to buy my wheels all the time, and I'm like, I don't sell wheels anymore. Like, I just won't. It's pointless. Why would I sell you my CR Kais for deal if I'm going to turn around and when I buy them, oh, you got original CR Kais, now you're paying twice as much? Like, no. Like, I'd rather just keep them.
Sure.
Like, but like, before, I didn't know this, and I've sold so many wheels, and now I'm like, man, why'd I do that?
Yeah.
Gold mine you'd be sitting on.
Right? It's like, why would I do that?
And it's just getting worse.
And it's getting worse.
Some things are starting to level out, I feel, but like a lot of the rare parts, and also like we got these groups, like the online, like Facebook groups for like rare parts and stuff, and like it's insanity to see some of the shit, and I'm like, man, I threw that away.
I threw that away.
Yeah, and but we, at hindsight, that's what they say is Yep. But no, it's really cool. But I also really like that generational stuff, because like what maybe you and I would look for could be different from Chad, because Chad's, generation and coming into drifting is a little later. So like, I love that he's into the APC stuff. I think it's fucking great because it's so nostalgic for me, but that's newer for me, where I was like back when everything had like exactly the true like HKS, Gretty, everything that you would see in the magazines, you know what I mean? Like the big companies, that's all they made it. So, and then the little companies like Final Connection and stuff, I nerd out. I love that stuff. But like, it's so cool to see the different generations. And then I guess you have like your newer generation still too. And they nerd out about stuff. Like I saw like somebody was posting about like their Kansai wheels or whatever and how stoked they are. And I'm like, that's rad though. You know what I mean? Like that's their generation now. When I look at it, I'm like, I'll pick something else. You know what I mean? But it's still rad to see that excitement and that level. So no, that's fucking wild. I love this. Drifting is so fucking cool.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
It also sucks.
It also sucks. Yeah, it's still the worst, best thing ever.
Fully.
Oh man. I want to get into some questions we have for you.
All right.
Yeah. I actually have a question before getting to your questions.
Dude, do it.
The R32, what's up with that thing, bro?
So there's a SR20 right behind these wheels that hopefully will get done soon, and it just needs to go in.
Nice.
Like I technically stole the SR20 and put it on my S14, and then this is where things happen because when I put it in this car, I did the race car thing, so I put all these sensors everywhere. So then I was able to read that the car was losing fuel pressure. So then I was like, oh, if I fix that, I need to fix that, right? So I fixed that, and it wanted to make more power at the same PSI. So I went from making 400 horsepower to then making 500 horsepower, and all the thing I did was fix the fuel. Well, I really didn't fix the fuel because I didn't have a problem before. I was just then now asking for more, so then now I have more fuel. Anyway, so I blew that thing up, and ever since then the R32 has been sitting because I built the K24 swap. For
yeah,
that
I mean that's fair. I mean, so hear me out. You get that car done. You get the gang back together.
I know.
And you take everybody to final bout.
Oh, that'd be sick.
That I'm gonna try to get that car done for sure, and I'm gonna try to go back to 215s, 225s, super low. I want that car to be super street, super low, back too cool. I don't know if I can convince Dustin to make a car now go 1,000,000 miles per hour. All his cars have dog boxes, so for me to be hey, take a dog box out or that sequential and make it simple,
yeah, that's
it's a big ask. That's a big ask.
But we have my other friends in part of Garage Green Power and stuff where I can get Mikey. So I also have a Corolla. So I've been thinking about So I've been thinking about putting this Corolla together so then I can have fun with my slow friends and have a slow friend party instead of trying to
I wish I had those.
You will. I'm building an NA. I'm building an NA Corolla right now.
Yeah, well, it's fucking. I'm done with the NA car now. So what the fuck? You had years to drive slow with me, and here we are.
We're gonna street. That's all. I'm building that car 100% for street. That's my goal.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we'll street. And also, we'll Sebastian, you can come up. We'll do some shit, or we'll come down to you too. Yeah, we'll go back and forth.
Slow car party.
Slow car party.
If you also, just got tired of the Skyline, I might know a guy that could take it off your hands.
Chad's dream car is your fucking Skyline.
Yeah, absolutely. Literally. 4-door R32 is the dream chassis for me. So, if you ever, need some extra cash or just get bored of it, you know what I'm saying? I might know a guy.
That's funny.
You got hold on to?
Are you? Oh, really?
Yeah, it goes back to if I sell it, dude, am I gonna make money? Yeah, but then I'm gonna miss it more probably. I'm gonna be damn, I had an R32 and now I can't afford another one, and I just had 25 grand. Cool,
right.
I probably spend the money faster than I
Yep.
I don't know.
Yeah,
it's not worth it. Originally planned to only have it for a while and then get a JZX 100, but then it I don't know, it's fun and I have other cars, so I can, I don't know, it just seems pointless to get rid of it. I've thought about it before, and people ask me all the time, and I'm just it just sits back there, yeah. But
it's not also hurting anything.
It's not hurting anything. It's not doing anything.
Yep.
I can sit back there, and I can later on spend a lot of time and effort and make it nice. And then sell it for more because the longer it sits, the more appreciates too. So
that's $100,000 car in about 30 years.
That's what I'm saying. So
when gasoline is outlawed and and you have to run and make it off of weird chemicals to be able to drive it, that thing will be worth a lot.
Well, the good part about America is that we're always going to be fat and we're always going to eat a lot here, so we're always going to have oil to burn. So you could always diesel thing your car and just go out there and steal everyone's freaking oil grease.
That's true.
It's crazy that we might eventually
have to get to that point.
Yeah, we're only racing, or like our fun cars to race are only based on like biodegradable fuels because we're not allowed to have anything else.
That's fucking wild. I never even thought about that. Jeez.
Yeah, right.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Chad, you got any other questions, or that was it?
No, that was like the major one for me because I'm just a big Skyline nerd. Like that's like back when I first got into like style car drifting and everything. It was like Animal Style on the West Coast, GMP on the East Coast, and specifically your Skyline, just because that's always been my thing. So I was like, yeah, that car needs to like be on a track again for sure.
Yeah, I plan to. I like I said, people always ask me, and I like thought about it hard. I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't. It can stay for a while. It can be broken as long as it needs to.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
Yep. No, that's awesome. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I like if I bring it back, I want to do it like nice. I don't want to like bring it back like half-assed. Like I don't like. It's already had like a decent life, so if it comes back, it should come back like something nice, very appreciated.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. Let's jump into some of these questions. So a lot of these I'm just going to skip over because we already answered them because our fucking conversation was all over the place, which is rad. But a lot of these questions, of course, were already answered. So favorite track, all that stuff, why it's called Garage Moon Power. Like it's really neat because we literally hit the nail on the head. Here's one though. And I don't know if this is just somebody's personal thing. It's not really a question. When are you going to put clear lenses on the Zenki?
In the front? Or in the rear?
I don't know. They're just that
front. As soon as I destroy the ones on there, so I will replace them for something nice as soon as they break.
Right.
So
and
let me hit you.
Yeah, literally a lot of these bring back the Skyline. Like everybody loves your Skyline, bro.
Yeah, 100%. And like that's a goal for me. Like I want to do that, but like and yet like I've had this Corolla for so long too, and like I don't want to build it because I have a vision in my head, and if I don't do it that way, it just doesn't feel right? So I want T37s for it, and then unless I get T37s and build a car around those, I'm not gonna do it. So like
have you talked to have you looked for them yet?
Oh yeah, I've seen them all the time, but like it's always wheels are always ready to be sold when you don't have money.
Yes,
like anytime that I'm like, this week I can't afford these things. They're there.
So convenient.
And anytime that I look for them, because I'm like, all right, I'm doing it.
Right.
They're not there.
No,
like,
that's
can't find any.
Yep.
Anytime. And like I want white ones and shit. I'm like, okay, and then like, no, they're never there. Anytime. I know some people who have some, but we'll see.
No, that would be cool. Yeah, all these. How did you get into painting? Everything is literally like we nailed this. I know Rich, of course, never makes the podcast because he's a jerk. But he had some questions for you, which is actually pretty cool. Why did you go sequential, and do you love it?
Fully yes. And why? Because it was cheap. So mentality with my S14 was to build a pro level car, right? So then I was gonna buy a GSR. At this point in time, I'm asking Rick at RTS, and this is before they were like $7,000 when they were only 5 to 6, or 5 to 6 grand, and he didn't have any in stock, right? So I was like, oh, okay. So I'm trying to looking around for all these NASCAR ones, and no one has one. One of my friends, Armin, who works at this shop, used to call ARD Motorsports. They do like track racing and stuff like that. They had this really fast Supra, like 1,700 horsepower, whatever, like drag Supra. Anyways, they were trying to go faster, right? So when you're in a drag car, shifting gears takes time, right? So they were trying to go fast, so they went from a regular transmission to a sequential to be faster, right? What's next step? A fucking automatic. So then they literally had a sequential with a broken reverse gear. So like it was some rich dude's kid who drove the car, but it was the dude, and the kid was the one that always broke reverse. That's literally the mechanic was like, he breaks reverse I don't know. So you just gotta hold the clutch for like a long time to get engaged reverse. So anyways, the transmission in these dudes' eyes was broken. Or not really. But I was just in there hanging out with my friend to have a sequential on the front or on the floor, and I'm just like, this thing is so cool, you know? And we're all like, hell yeah, And then I was just like, I'll give you $5,000 for it. And then we were like, ha. And the guy's like, I'll ask the owner,
Yeah.
And I go home and he texts me, yo, the dude said he'll take it. And I'm like, immediately got in my truck and went straight back. And I just gave him $5,000 for the thing. And I think I told the dude $4,000 and my friend like got $1,000 too. Like,
no shit.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't care. The only thing I knew is that I paid $5,000 for a sequential transmission, 6-speed sequential. Then needed some work, which I spent $600 on the gears, and then I took it apart myself. It's with everything else. Like I'm like, young me has dreamed about having a sequential HKS transmission for years.
Yeah.
So like,
that's
if you
crazy.
drift and you've never seen the sequential thing, and you've never been like, okay, I want that. Like, that's just a lie, right? So, like I jumped on the opportunity. I immediately didn't see a broken thing. I just like, I'm fixing that. Like, this is, and that's it. So that thing is like $17,000. So when I hit up the people who make it, they gave me the invoice and all the gears and everything, and it was like $17,000 when they originally bought it. I'm like, I saved like $10,000 on that thing.
Yeah.
So like that's all. Like before I put the car back together, I was like, maybe I should sell this thing and like.
Yeah.
Pretty cool to have though.
Yeah, dude. It's
and your power level's probably pretty safe for like ever. Like that thing should be decent. Like what you're making 5, right?
Yeah.
And they're used to like 1,200, like crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So like, fuck yeah, that thing's probably bulletproof.
Yeah. And like the shifting part is just super. Like it's like. Boop,
oh, that's so.
Like you don't like when I downshift, I like don't have to just boop, and it just like, right in. It's really.
That's
really
neat.
It's changed. It that makes the engine that it has doesn't make the car feel like a race car. That one part alone that makes the noises while like in gear and everything else, it makes the car feel like a race car.
Yeah, no, I can only imagine.
Crazy shit, and then it has flat foot shifting because it's drive-by-wire. So like that again, Formula Drift, top level, right? So all those cars have top level craziness, electronics and stuff. And I guess I don't know if you guys know this, but before I started working at CoreWorks, I used to do motorsports wiring like professionally. So like I've wired up a whole bunch of like Huracans for GT3s and stuff like that for EMSA and things. So it's actually where my girlfriend works now, but Sandra. So like getting another thing that I took that I knew and put it in my car. So like my car has a crazy electronics package, like pro level, like Motec and all that silly things. So like it has dropout wire. So like even though I have a pedal box or whatever, so it has flat foot shift. So like I can just hold it and just shift gears.
That's so sick.
That's like
love to do that.
Craziest feeling in a drift
I couldn't even imagine.
I've ever felt. It just keeps pulling. It just boom, boom, boom. It's like whoa, and every gear is like a pop. So I love it.
No, that's crazy.
I love it. I will never have another one unless like some crazy shit happens and I like move to a different task bracket. But like, if you can afford one, like realistically, they're $20,000. Like if you want one, you're spending like $20,000, right? If you can afford something like that, do it. It's cool.
Yeah. No, that's super sick. Now I know why Rich asked.
Because he has a GSR and those things are sick. Like
I know he loves just all that crazy compy stuff.
It's sick, dude.
I bet I couldn't even imagine. Honestly, I've been wanting to get some ridiculous trans for the Corolla just to be stupid. Just because I think it would be hilarious to see this little shit box like
it's cool. And like they go to gear. Like you just pull back third. Like it's going into gear. And like even if you weren't using the clutch, it's gonna go into gear. So like even like I know he has a GSR or whatever. Those things you can also do clutchless like shifts. Like people in drag cars use the same transmission. They just
you have to like slam those though.
They like slam.
You gotta like.
There's other things that you do like in drifting. People don't do like shift cuts and stuff like that. So like my shifter has a strain gauge, so it knows how much pressure I'm pulling back. So as soon as I start pulling back, the ECU is like, yo, he's about to do a shift. Okay, there's enough pressure, do the shift. It cuts ignition, it bleeps my throttle, it does the shift. And like I physically don't have to do anything, but electronically it's happening, right?
Sure.
So you can technically do something similar with like his transmission. Like drifting, you don't use like that type of shit. But like in a drag car, you would put a load cell on the shifter. So when you grab the shifter, go to second, cut.
Yeah. Jeez. Man, I want to drive a sequential.
Dude, Fatia, let's drive that thing. It's
oh,
like, whoa.
I couldn't even imagine. That's super sick. Let's see what else he asked you here. This is just him being silly. Why is your car so much cooler than everyone else's? Do you ever feel bad for normies when you pull up?
I do.
Shitting on them. This is a good one though, and this is one that I had as well. What's the plan for 2024 events and any new mods? What are you doing?
I just want to drive. Like, if I can drive this S14 a lot more, that would be sick. That's why I kind of try to just, since it blew up on Final Bout, I just try to put an engine together as soon as possible so I can drive it more.
Yeah.
It would be cool if I can get somewhere comfortable in the car so that I could do like competition with it. I would love to come to the Gamblers and just
sick. Yeah.
But, like, that's kind of why that car got built, because it was like, okay, I can drive. Like I'm confident enough to drive well. I know I can probably push myself a little bit more if I try to be competitive like that. Like at least just like maybe not like push myself, but see where I'm at skill level. Because I know I can. Like I would be able to do okay in Pro-Am.
Yeah.
But like, will I be okay if I have the car? Like, you know, like if I come in there and have everything, it would be cool to see if I can do that.
That'd be sick. Yeah, no, it's funny because you're like probably like the fourth person I heard recently talking about like the Gambler.
Yeah.
And like doing something like that to test, like it's for yourself. It's to test your own mental and like skill level and everything. And it's really cool. That'd be cool. And also that's really close to us. So if you come up, we get to chill. So definitely make sure you come up.
So like I'm not competitive. So like that's why I want to try it. I don't know if I don't feel like I'm a competitive person in nature, I guess you could say. So like that's why I want to like put myself in these places where like I've done competitions and I've done well, but I've never been like I'm gonna do you know, like Final Bout. I've never viewed it as a competition while I was there. Like it was never like it never felt like, I don't know if you guys are the same way or whatever, but at least to me, anytime I've been there, I've never felt like I was like at a competition.
I've never felt like that.
Yeah, I'm just having fun with my
friends. Having the one-on-one stuff, I was like, okay, I have to like try. Like the solo runs, I was like, that's kind of compy. And that was fun. I enjoyed it. But like all the team stuff, it was just driving with my friends.
And see what happens. Like we'll do our best. We'll try. We have strategies. We did our stuff, but like it didn't really matter. I think if you care about winning, you already lost.
Yeah, that's kind of how I've always been about drifting though. So like this is why I was like, okay, I feel like I am a good enough driver. Let me try to not go compete for like I'm gonna beat everybody up mentality, but like let me just go whoop some kids' ass and have some fun with them, like kind of, you know, hang out.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, hell yeah.
That would be it, really.
So you had no big moves for any of the car stuff. Just kind of it's basically almost ready, right?
Like the thing's good to go. If I can make it, you know, just survive how it is. Like,
right. Well, you got this weekend, right? You're
I'm
taking
gonna
that
try
this weekend.
It's gonna rain though, so like that car in the rain at that truck kind of sucks. So like I'm thinking about taking my girlfriend's car, but I don't know yet. But like this, 2024. It would be cool to drive that thing, and it'll be cool to have my Corolla. Really, it'll be cool to have a Corolla. Like I don't care about my R32 as much getting done, which I think it will be though, just because the engine's like almost done, and then I'm gonna have to do something with that, you know. So it's like, okay, put it in the car, get it running again. Maybe bring it for that before I do like a body refresh on it, and then just come up.
No, seriously, you're welcome to. I say that to everybody. Always take advantage of us if you need or if you want, just come on up. Like we can give you places to stay, garages, whatever. We'll get you going if you want to travel around and do some cool shit.
Yeah.
Especially with the Corolla.
Yeah, I want to come drive y'all's track a lot. Or at least what's it called? English Town. I really want to try that because it's like one of the only tracks cool. Like in that area that I feel like I've known for so long that I've just never driven. Like I was gonna do 101 December driver or whatever it's called.
Yep, that's this Saturday.
Yeah, that's this week.
Yeah, I was gonna do that last year, but shit didn't work out. Or was it the year before that? I don't remember. I've tried to do it like multiple times actually.
Yeah.
But December's kind of a weird month.
Yeah, we definitely got to get your whole crew up to our event vibes.
Yeah,
I want to get. Yeah, I like to give that experience to people because it's an event for drivers. There's no competition. So like if you bring a car, like you're gonna run out of tire. Like it's wild. I love giving that experience to people. Plus it's we're just hanging out. That's all it is.
Yeah.
And trying to build some style in inspiring others. This is another one that I was going to ask, but Rich, I just put it in here because he wrote it up. You still doing the Garage Moon Power stuff and any new stuff that you're working on? So your mats have become a staple. I feel
coolest mats in the game.
You have like for me going back, it was like D-Max checkered if you could get them. If you couldn't get them, and that was whatever. You went to your mats. That was it. Yep. Like it was fucking you and D-Max. That's it. And then you had some like Joy Break stuff. Like they started, they do some really cool stuff. But like in America, your mats were always like, that's it. Like you just that's what you buy. You just buy your mats. As the standard. It's fucking cool.
That shit's crazy because we don't even do anything, to be honest. Me and my significant other kind of just let it be. We have been trying to get a little more designs and things like that. We try to come up with new ones. We have like this wheel, just regular like house mat thing that I kind of printed out not too long ago that just kind of like the same car vibe type of thing. But
right.
But like realistically, dude, that I don't even know how that even has gone like that. Or like we like I was trying to explain to you, like we did it because our friend literally works. So like one of the dudes who's part of GMP and stuff like that works at one of these places, right?
Yeah.
So they make mats for these huge brands, right? And like, so they're like, yeah, we can print anything you want. We're like,
that's so cool.
Okay. And then we started coming up with ideas, and it just continued to spiral on, and it has worked so well without us doing anything really, which is we need to do more. Like I want to be able to spend more time into it and like go to events and like promote it, but like we do so many other things. Like I have, she has a full-time job, I have a full-time job, and like that's a full-time job on its own, and it gives us like money to be able to like extra car stuff for me and her, but like it doesn't make enough money where like, okay, I can quit my job.
No, sure.
Do this, I'm sure it could though. Like I'm sure if I quit this and then only did GMP and then painted things and like sold them under GMP, like I'm sure if I really tried to make that just my sole income, I could. But like I haven't tried to do that. So like I don't know. We just kind of like let it be its thing, let it have fun, and it's gotten so big. Like you're saying, like most people, and like that's how it came for us. So we couldn't get cool mats anywhere else. So like we just made them for ourselves. And then next thing, people were like, "Yo, I need the same thing," and they're like, "Okay."
Right.
And the next thing I came with like a different idea, and then another idea, and it just exploded, continued and continued.
I almost think you don't even need promotion at this point. Like you're at the point where you're just promoting, like it's self-promotion. Like I see them everywhere, you know?
Like, me and my girl, whatever, me and Sandra sitting around, we're like, okay, at what point is this just gonna stop? Because like how many drift kids have mats? Right? And then like, like I mean it can't be that many, but then like we see like every Miata person that doesn't even drift have them, and we're like, oh
yeah, they're just cool outside of drifting as well,
And then like So that's where we try to like. This is where we came in with like anime ideas and other ideas to try to like satisfy everyone and things like that. I do have like
Karoshi mats.
I mean, we can make that, dude. We can make that happen super fast.
I saw it's really cool because like through Koro, you guys did stuff with like Low Origin, like that was you, right? Going through super cool.
Yeah, they're super cool people, and we've been friends with Alex and stuff for like a long time, and then he loves what we do here at Koro Works, and at that point we had our graphic designer Gray, who's now moved to Chicago, which is sad, but we're just like, yo, let's make something real quick with them, and we're able to do that, and it's awesome. And like we made mats for like Adam LZ like many years ago, and like they sold out with him so fast and all this shit, and like people are still like, yo, can we get Adam LZ? Like, oh, you gotta hit that dude up, like
that's crazy,
but like before he was as big as he is now, like I wish he did it now, like
right.
I mean, like, now I can make some money, right?
You'd be like, yo, I'm gonna retire on that.
You could retire. One drop, you'd be done for life.
I'm insane. Buy my own company, dude. Move to Florida or whatever.
Right. That's so funny. I just my Corolla, when I just got it, had a set of mats in it. I was like, sick. I don't have to buy them. Not like I wouldn't support you, but I was just like, fuck right. But that's how common they are, and it's so neat to see. Congratulations on that though too, because it's very hard. Like a lot of people when they're starting something, now you put a lot of work into it. I know for a fact back. You know what I mean? And it takes its time, but to get it to the level that it is really, really cool and inspiring too. Because me as trying to do my own little brand thing with the Smile Death stuff, like it's a lot of work, but you seem to like hit the niche perfectly, and then you became the staple of Matt, which is it's kudos to you, man. Like it's fucking awesome.
I think I just either got lucky or I was able to see. I got lucky because we saw the opportunity what we had, right? So like I saw my friend have this, outlet where he works, right? So I'm like, wait, let me put 2 and 2 together. Like it, it's such a niche thing. Nobody else not only cared, but like, why were they doing that? Like the only reason why now people are coming along is because they've seen other mats. They're like, okay, there's other fun mats out there. Let's make some, right? So like now you have, if you're a new brand coming up, you're like, okay, these other brands coming up have mats. Let's try or whatever, right? Back when I like 2013 or whatever, when we first did it, that wasn't there. Like there was literally, like you're saying, nobody else. So like I had a niche market. Like we didn't have to do anything because anybody that liked cars, could technically like formats, and that's why we did like certain, like the HKS pattern, the Arizona T thing. Like who doesn't like Arizona, right?
Sure.
Who's into cars?
Like,
your timing is perfect with that.
But like back then, that was like the same 2014 or whatever. Like it just kind of made sense with what I was doing. I was like, okay.
Yeah, you have some iconic designs that are like of the GMP branding though too, which is really cool. Like I do doing the sim stuff and creating a lot of mods, and also taking mods to add to and whatever. We used to get the bases of like a mod, let's say, and we'd look down in VR and there's the fucking mats. And I was like, and it's not like one of your like standard, like it's not HKS style. It's like it's your design with like the typical, like the text that goes across, like in the, I can't remember I can see it in my head, but I can't like describe it. But it's
I've
like
definitely seen the pizza mats before. Like
pizza mats,
sure.
Yeah. There's a few. You have a few iconic ones which are really sick, but they're like based off of like it's your design, and that's really, really neat to see.
Yeah.
No,
we have like one with like my R32 as a drawing, and we have one with like an anime character, which is literally a character just drawn for us or whatever. Like she's wearing a race suit that like her name is Akisa or whatever, and like it's only based for us or whatever.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just, and like that also comes with like I've always helped, like if anybody that designs anything, they hit me up. Like I'm always like supportive as hell. So I'm like, yo, you have an idea? Let's do it. Like, and they'll be like, oh, what do you want? Like, I don't care what I want. What do you want? Like people literally always ask me like, okay, like I've tried to get people to make new designs and stuff because I'll make some, but like I have I can see things a certain way, though. People view things differently, right?
Sure.
People want to see things differently. I literally tell everyone, what do you want to buy? Make me what you want to buy. If you make me what I want to buy, then like now I have a whole other group of people buying stuff because, you know, I didn't think of that at all. Like now it's completely, you have a different brain. Like,
right.
So I'm like always game for like if you guys want to collab, make a design right now, dude. Send it to me. We'll start. Like
no,
for real, like
yeah,
like super easy. Like it's match shape, 17 by 23. Like
I love it. You just know the shape. It's like well, give me. I need 300 DPI and 17 by
like like realistically though, and So like I've had that. So then like we have friends who want to be part, right? And I'm like, sure, give me something. Like if you want to make the design, of course, send it to me. Like of course, like I love it.
I actually remember it was going back. I remember when I was still doing the Smile Factory stuff.
Yeah, dude, I still have those stickers.
And we did that collab with the moon. That was so funny.
Exactly.
No, that's super cool. That's how I liked it. And honestly, with one Jake here and One Word Glove Co. in the chat, he's the same way. We've been working with him a lot lately, and it's because he's got that same mentality. And I think that's, as from a business standpoint, it's so rare. So it's neat to see and hear you say this, because you're just like, yo, let's fucking go. You know what I mean? Like, it's not achievable for most people to reach out to a company and start talking about the future of making a product or something like that. So it's refreshing to hear that willingness and excitement still in your voice about making that. That's really cool.
I just also feel like I wouldn't even like that part of like we wouldn't even be anywhere if it wasn't for people. Like for everyone who appreciates what we make, and even the people who've made the designs he made for us.
Yeah.
So like all those people have done it out of love for us, right? So like why I feel like I have to share that back. Like anytime with any company, like any team, I'm always like, I'm not that cool. I don't think I'm too cool for school. So like whoever you are.
Best mentality to have right
there.
Like,
I mean, that's what I'm saying. If you're a small company, I'll still make your mats. Like, I might not, a lot of people might not, but who cares? Now we both have a new design. Now your core demographic now knows who I am. They might have not known,
exactly.
And the other way around. Like, we both win.
Yep.
I don't know. I've always been very positive with things like that. Even like media and anything too. Like, I'm always very positive. Anyone takes pictures of any of our cars or anything that help us. I see it as help me do what I do, right? So like I love drifting, right? If you're buying a floor mat from me, I'm probably gonna go drift with that money. So like you're helping me out.
Yeah.
Right? So like if you're taking picture of my car, I am giddy because I'm gonna look at that picture hardcore after the event, right? So like I've always given stickers if I have to, like media. If you come up to me in your media, like I might not pay for your set of pictures. But like I'm gonna give you some swag, or like some merch. Like I can only do so much. I didn't necessarily think I was gonna go to that event to pay somebody, or like sometimes we do bring our own media people that we like pay or whatever. But like I don't think about like the 20 other dudes there who might want money or compensation, but like come get a sticker. It might not be the same $20 you're making off my picture. I get it, but like. Come with a sticker. I might share it. I might not. I'll love it, but
I
really appreciate it. Like
your stickers too. That's another funny part. Video games, they were everywhere.
Oh, dude,
well.
Assetto. So here's the thing. I've actually personally have paid multiple people who make tracks. A lot of tracks that people enjoy right now, I've paid for. Like
no shit.
My own pocket had made. Why? I want to drive that track. I don't and then I'm like, yo, don't make it private. I don't care. Like, put it out there. This is for the community. This track is cool. Let's drive it together. Yo, like you didn't think of this? Bring this track to why not? Like these cars, like so it's like the same kids who make those tracks or even other cars, and then now the skins for my gloves or the skins for like the seats or the formats are all like in every Assetto car. I'm like,
everywhere. Yeah.
Cool.
I know I put your stickers on my car in Forza. Like someone made it in Forza. I was like, okay, I'm gonna search for this, and lo and behold, it was fucking there.
Yep.
And I was like, this is cool.
I think FR Legends it was in too, because they reached out to us when I was still Smile Factory, and we got the sticker pack in, and then I was going through some stuff, and I was like, there's fucking GMP. I was like, hell yeah! Like, look at all this cool shit. That's so neat. It's neat to see how it spreads. Like, it's so inspiring too. Yeah, I remember literally your sticker. So, I did a lot of like Assetto stuff. I mainly did a lot of the skins and building the tracks, but I was given this like underground secret like pack of like, okay, don't hand this out to anybody, but it's a massive list of like underground and really old Japanese stickers, liveries, like that I could just print, you know what I mean? But it's made for designing video game cars. And of course, there's a whole section of just GMP stuff. And I was like, fuck yeah. Like, it's super cool. So we definitely, I think we put it on your car, Chad, didn't we? Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did.
The moon Smile Factory moon sticker is on my car.
Oh, that's right. In Assetto. Yep. Yep. I was so proud of that little collab. It's just really neat because you don't see a lot of companies collabing. Like, that was a thing back in the day. Now companies are so like me, and it kind of sucks. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I'm so stoked with Jake. Like one word, like we're doing some cool shit. We have a really cool announcement coming up, which I'm not going to say on this podcast because it's all about you, Sebastian. But I'm just super fucking excited about it. But no. Yeah, we should. I guess we're gonna talk then because
for sure. And
I'm excited.
I feel like you have a huge point there, and I guess now that I'm thinking about it, you don't see it in drifting companies with the collab things a lot. It happens in other things where, like in skateboarding, big companies have like collabs with other big companies. Like Nike has shoes by all these skateboard like brands on a Nike shoe, and that's a crazy collab. And like that's kind of weird that now, like, you really think about it, that doesn't happen in drifting like
and it
that.
Should you think it should because it's like, it should be that skate mentality. It should be like, yo,
we do small things with our friends. So Grip Royal, right? Those are our friends. So they've made us all like shift knobs for like CoreWorks, right? So like I have one from R32. We all have like things like that. And they have a couple of steering wheels that we've like collab with them. So I guess like CoreWorks, we try to do that, but like now that
you really do actually got low origin.
We try to do that a lot.
That's
and
really
I think
cool.
it's because everyone here has like that mentality with like skateboarding and things like that, like whatever. Even if you think about like things like Supreme and things where like you can take one big name and add another big name to it, and then you know
you're only helping yourself.
Let's bring that back.
We should
let's fucking start bringing that shit back. No, seriously,
we should push that because there's no reason why you wouldn't like. I don't, I guess it's just because like you said it earlier. All right, and I'm gonna say this too. This is why I don't watch. I personally don't watch that much drifting YouTube, right? I think a lot of drifters are selfish. Most people just want a me mentality in the drifting, and they're trying to always reach like themselves of a higher place, right? So they don't care who they use, who to talk to, or whatever, what companies they use. And we know people who are sponsored by like every company just so they can like continue to grow their cloud, right? And like maybe that's why in drifting that doesn't happen, because we know like some people who might, there's a couple names that we know that if they collab with multiple small brands, they could really push those small brands.
Dude, I saw it over Black Friday. That was I went on a little bit of a tangent because in my head, I'm like, I see these people that are reposting companies that are cloudy and they don't even use their stuff, but they saw their favorites posting that, but then they have a friend that's has a small business and they're not helping him out.
Nope.
Like, or what the fuck?
The one they discount, but like go pay somebody else full price, but come to your buddy and like, hey, let me get like what?
Yeah, like I posted a thing. I wanted people to add their like small businesses and stuff so I could just repost it. Not that I have a bajillion followers, but that mentality of like giving, we all eat is my favorite mentality. You know what I mean? And it's really cool that and Cora Works and you yourself with the Garage Moon Power stuff and the mats and the collabs and stuff is case in point where it shows the kind of person you are. So somebody that's up there, and you're right. I think a lot of people are very me. They don't think about the power that they have to be able to, one, inspire or just spread and help somebody out. So somebody that has, the pool, like imagine if people like LZ would start being like, hey, you should check out these guys, are doing really cool shit. That company's going to do so well. And yet you don't see that very often. Like
not anymore.
If I fucking, not that it'll ever happen, but if I was massive, all I'd be doing was be trying to spread the word. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
spread the word of everybody that deserves it.
So this is
now I'm pissed. No.
This is it's a funny statement though, because it comes down to life. I'm like one of the people who are always like, I will give you the shirt off my back if you need it, right? And that mentality is why I will never be rich, because I can't take advantage of you, right? So like for me to have a company that I can feel like I can take an advantage of the core demographic that I do, right? I can charge more money for my products to make more money, but then physically to me as a person, that feels yucky. I can't do it, right? I just don't feel good with myself trying to make money from the people who I feel like I am, right?
Yep.
Now that's just me as an individual. There's people who really don't care, who realize that we are only dollar bills to them. We're monetary views to them. And their goal might be similar, but at the end they see themselves, right?
No, sure.
So like it comes from a personal thing. Like I might not be as successful as I am because of that, but I'm also that's okay with me. Like I'd rather.
Or are you more successful in yourself? Like you know what I mean, like your mental state and stuff. I feel like that's better.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish both for you. Like I would wish you would be super well off, of course, because you're a fucking rad person. But at the same time, you can sleep at night, not knowing that you're not a scumbag. So
yeah, exactly. Like you could take advantage of situations, right? And you could take advantage of our community if you really wanted to be able to milk some money,
right?
Or even if not see it as milking money, but like generating profit, right?
Yeah.
Or like me myself, even to be honest, like Core Tyler, this dude right here, like R.I.P. Tyler, he probably does not give a fuck. He didn't give a fuck about the money. 100%. The whole vibe that we have, the structure that we have,
it was presented that way.
The feeling that you get, it's so much more important than this place making money. Like this being a profitable building means nothing, but like the memory that is leaving to people, like you coming here the first time, we've had so many people come here and they were just blown away.
It's so sick. The whole aura of that place is just good, like. And it's not like I'm in this crazy millions of dollar race shop. It's just cool people, cool cars, doing cool stuff for the community. Like that's it.
Yeah.
That's all it needs to be.
And that's coming from
$1 million company.
Right. Exactly. That's coming from you, Chad, who works at McLaren.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Like I see the expensive shit. I see
cool.
The rich people. Like, I know how they got there. You do have to step on people, but if that's your goal in life, cool. Like,
that's your goal, right?
Yeah.
I just don't have that in me.
Yeah. I could never really do that either because I like, if I can help out, I like doing it. But it's like, I just can't see me ever doing that. But like coming down there, it's just like everybody's super grounded. And like there's nobody trying to be like a fucking cajillionaire. Like everybody's just happy. And you can tell they're happy with where they're at, and instead of just always trying to like, oh, this isn't good enough type deal.
Yeah. No, it's crazy because I've only talked to Tyler through Instagram a few times, and every single interaction was absolutely amazing. And every single interaction, you had that vibe of like, he's just there for like fucking the fun. And he wants to create something for the people, and spread a different side of things, which was really cool. And all I remember him talking about was how bumpy Mid Pond was in a low car.
Yeah, dude. Because, I don't know if you guys can tell, that thing's low. That thing's stock body.
Yeah,
like, that's not kid low. That's like low.
No, that's super cool. And it's neat. I'm very jealous that you get to work and, enjoy a place like that, but also have known him personally. I think that's really cool. We did like a little section on it, like a few podcasts like back when it first happened. And yeah, and it's such a hit to the community, you know what I mean? For somebody like that to pass, but you know, at the same time, that inspiration that comes from it, and I know it affected a lot of people, and I can see that moving forward, that, you know, it's going to keep inspiring and keep going, and yeah, that's really wild. But man, yeah, that look at that car, look how beautiful it is.
Yeah, it's good.
I mean,
I didn't know he was. So again, I only know him from a little bit, you know, just from the Coral Work stuff. When we personally started dealing with you guys through Greg and stuff, and that's when Tyler started following the page, and then we would message back and forth and stuff. I didn't even know about his history until we had Adam on, which was really cool. And then when he first passed, looking into it and the stories that were coming out, and just this amazing, you know, like, the backstory was so inspiring and so cool to read and to hear and then to see. Yeah, it's just a wild ride. But I did not know that he was part of Rowdy. Like, I didn't know that, because I only knew Hater Dan and a few other of the guys. The blue, I can't remember. He's still like running around. Starts with an M.
Marlo. Yeah.
Marlo. Yep.
Guy.
But that's pretty much it. So that's cool that he was part of Team Rowdy too. Did not know that. Like, that's super really. I mean, this whole podcast is very informative and very, very cool.
Yeah,
and just making me feel like a kid again. That's what's happening, dude. Fuck.
Yeah.
Man.
Well, Tyler's been around a long time, and
yeah,
it's just like all the people here have been around a long time, and it's just like I said earlier or whatever. I am at least lucky that drifting started. Not that it started, but like the people who around me started it so long ago were so deep in rooted into it.
Yeah.
Because back then there wasn't that many people into it, so it was so much easier. You know, like 100 people. Technically, the whole United States might have been really how much, like, it really was, and that's not that many when you think about it now. That's why right now when you start bringing up old names, and everyone's like, "Oh, that guy!" Like, you know who it is right away, because it just wasn't that many. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Like,
I'm so old, but I stayed under the radar.
You know,
I suck. Like, you know what I mean? I was very shy back then, which is hilarious, because now I'm like in your fucking face. like, oh yeah.
Same thing. I am technically the same way, because like when I started to come up, like, you know, it took a while for people to like, okay, that's who he is or whatever, right? Like Instagram, it's really what like made life for everyone, technically for all of us, to see each other's cars so much faster than before, right?
Yeah.
So like
Facebook was a little, but like that Facebook was still kind of like forumy, which was cool. But Instagram was a massive hit. I mean,
it's so much easier to look at a picture of a car than like Facebook still had like interaction, right? There you did other things.
Right.
Now, like back in the day when you go on Instagram, you just scroll, it was just pictures, right? Like, it was so much easier for you to like the cars and the people that you like back then, and just scroll. You were only looking at like whatever. So that's why, at least to me, like, I feel like I came up because of that a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Because yes, I might have had already cars that like were popular locally, right? But like, you don't get to see like I don't know if you guys know, like, I'm on my like S13, so I had like a coupe that was like super low, and it had a Yoko, like a Itasha on the side of it and stuff like that, and I drifted that thing a lot too. And it was D-Max Type 3. Like, that car was very cool, but like, that's not as known as like my R32, right? But it's like right literally as the switch where I started to use Instagram a whole bunch more, and like I had my S13, but like not many people, like, then Instagram started to catch up, and now I have my R32. Now like everyone's on Instagram, so now, you know, we're all getting known or whatever, right? So I feel like that's where Instagram helped a whole bunch, and then at least get like my car style on out there, or at least like who I am as an individual.
Yeah.
Because you know, that made it easy for everyone though, because we knew people, but like it was so much harder for you to know somebody off a forum, right? So like we knew who an individual was off their, screen name on a forum, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or like that person, what I don't know. You guys did forums, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, okay, so when we were in forums, we were just talking and stuff like that, and you might have had like a car update here and there, but
tiny
like
little avatar, maybe.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So like we didn't have what we have now, where like it's like you expressing yourself. Like even Instagram when you first started, you expressing yourself so much more in depth to people than like just yourself, right?
Yeah.
When you're in a forum or like one of these things, you're like, it's like an open air, right? So then like the conversation can go anywhere. It's not just about like the car that you just put together, right?
Right.
Which it can be though, right? But like it could get hijacked super fast if you post a car that people don't like, like they're busting you on Sylvia right away. Like you like you would get destroyed, right? But like on Instagram, it would you wouldn't get that. Technically now, like when it first started, now right away, like now, yeah, it's a little bit more savagery, or like but like more people back then, like, oh, I like this dude's car, I'm gonna follow it because I like his car. And like now, people follow you because they hate you or don't like you. They just want to see your stuff, but like they follow you, right? But like they don't even like you.
That's why James is so popular.
But like it's true. So like
Instagram literally blew up the car community because I think you're putting that constant face, like even though it's a car, in front of people. Like it's nonstop. Like here's my car. Here's my
Everybody
car.
knows you from your car.
Everybody knows. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
So it's like at some point everyone knew who the car was. Not even me though. Like writing, like I'm sure that goes for everyone. Like you feel like, oh, I don't post selfies like that, but like everyone knows who my car is. So like it was easier back then. So I feel like that kind of helped me, at least in my end, because then it made it easier for people to be like, holy shit, the R32 is cool. Instead of like the locals being like, R32 is cool. And this is where the generational thing, because like Tyler has always had cars like that. If Tyler tried to like share back then the cars that like he built, we would have lost our shit, right? And he did on groups or whatever. But like he doesn't do that much now. Like if he like go on Instagram now, he might have a little following or whatever, but he never really try to like share like the stuff. You know what I'm kind of like I'm saying?
Right.
But like if he tried to, he could. Like I don't know.
You could have blew it up. Yeah.
Yeah, but he didn't care about that. Like
didn't
that,
care.
To a degree. And, like it's just like me. Like I realistically now, like I share stuff on Instagram, knowing the fact that like I have to, because now that I have a following, I like I have to feed the machine or whatever, right?
It's tough,
so like
it's a terrible feeling.
It really does. It sucks. I don't enjoy it as much. Like I used to. I'm gonna say there's times in life that I have, and it just came back or whatever. But there's times where like Instagram just felt horrible, and it's just because of the way that other people, like even being viewed as like an influencer, right? Even though like I don't see that at all. Like I'm like, oh, I'm like so far from it. People are like, oh, you have followers. Like I have to tell myself, okay, you're right. I'm a micro influencer in what I do. I agree.
Sure. And I think it's a good thing because you're influencing the right way. But that's
just like, for sure.
Like I don't want that at all. I don't like realistically. I'd rather just be me. And yeah, cool. Like people are getting influenced, and that's how it's organically how it's happened. But like thinking about that makes me like
it's cringy.
It's very cringy. It makes me not want to do it. It makes me not want to post, even though like I want to share my car just because I feel like, oh, a cool video that I made of it. Yeah. But now I'm like, damn, now I'm sharing this video because Instagram, now they're thinking that I'm sharing it because I have to share it. Like, now I'm making a reel to feed the machine instead of like, dang, I like the song and I wanted to make the reel to the song. Like,
no, just have fun. Honestly, my biggest switch was finding out that being cringy is fucking hilarious if you do it the right way. Like if you're doing it because you find it funny and you know your boy is like, what the fuck are you doing? That's when it's the best. Like James is laughing because he knows exactly what I'm talking about. Like we did dumb shit with him in a briefcase riding his car with like this fucking ski mask on, and it's hilarious. You know what I mean? Because we can find it funny, and the internet's gonna fucking have a blast with it. Either they're gonna fucking appreciate that you're being silly or whatever. But I think that's the point where do what you got to do, because we all love seeing your car. And if you're going to put rad stuff out there, I think the community is going to love it. And think about it in the different aspect of as that, let's take I hate the word influencer too. I think it's really, really lame in this day and age. But if you use the influencer differently and being like how I'm actually possibly influencing the younger generations is really cool. Because when they see your S14 or they see your Skyline and they're like, yo, that looks really fucking sick, I want to aspire to be like that. That's the right influence. And I think it's a good thing if you do it. Don't feel any type of way. We all love seeing your stuff anyway. So
true.
But I know, but it does feel like you need to do it. But I think with the new camera and stuff, I think you're gonna have fun. Yeah. Honestly, you're creative. I started going fucking nutty, and it's been a blast. So, but again, I just laugh at myself. You know what I mean? I'm like, this is fucking dumb. And if 5 people get it, then they get it. But no, you're doing good stuff. I'm excited to see what the future of your personal, cars, your personal journey, you working with ChloroWorks, you doing still the Garage Moon Power stuff. I'd love to see you guys definitely driving with us at a final bout would be fucking awesome, especially because for me, your team was one of the inspirations to make like Karoshi a thing. And when I did the Smile Factory team, that you were on the list, like you're right there. So I think that would be really cool. That's a little bucket list thing for me. So
yeah, I'll tell him.
Tell him. But no, I guess I want to end this on, do you have any shout outs? Do you have anything that you wanted to throw in there? And if anybody in the chat has any quick questions for Sebastian, usually towards the end here, everybody's just chilling. But do you have any shout outs, Sebastian?
I mean, much love to like everyone. I think, like I said, positivity with everyone's kind of like a big deal to me. I like, I don't, like I said, I don't consider myself like a big influencer or whatever, but like I realistically respond to like everyone. Like if you DM me, I'm gonna respond to you. It might take me some time because I like the new ones I don't look at all the time. But like I don't leave them. Like I don't have thousands of unread random people messages. I like respond to everyone and try to like, I give everyone the time. Right. Like it sucks. Like as somebody who feels like they've been doing it for a time, I still feel like I get cool guy by like the cool guys in our industry too. And like as someone like who supposed to be cool too, it just doesn't feel cool. Right. Yeah. So like I wouldn't want like, whoever young guy to come say hi to me and like the first thing he feels like, oh, this guy's too cool for me. Like I just
hate that. Right.
Yeah. So like I've always been very positive. Yeah. Just with everyone about life. And like I try to give everybody ride-alongs. Like I don't know people. Like, I've learned how to be like, I got people I gotta, but like I've friend, so like I don't know. I appreciate everyone.
You were very you were changing your tires. You were dirty as fuck. And I came up to say hi to you at the Low Style Heroes. And like usually like now when I'm doing that stuff and a kid comes up, I'm just like I just suck it up because I'm just trying to fucking work. But I'm the same way. I'm gonna be like, what's up, dude? You know what I mean? Like blah blah blah. But you definitely were very nice to me in a shitty time, because nobody likes to change fucking dirty tires. Like they were hot. Like I think you and Abu were actually doing laps. So you were trying to get the fuck back out there. And I was just like, yo, what's up, dude? We talk on the internet, blah, blah, and like you were like, oh, what's up, bro? Like we like had this really quick thing, but you took the time and it was very appreciated. So from the outside, it's really cool. And also I think that you're presenting that and telling everybody like, that's how we all should fucking be. Take the time for everybody.
It just takes, like I said, like, people think I have an influence or whatever. I get it. Like, I do. But like at the same time, I'm just like we're all human beings and like don't treat just because, he's a kid or his car looks like poop. To be honest, dude, I have a lot of friends whose cars are, missiles and like I'm all hyped for them. I'm like, hell yeah. Like, you want to ride? Like, come in my car. Like, I don't, and they're like riding my car and like nothing's wrong. And they're like, whoa, your car drives so smooth. I'm like, I know. Like,
and nothing's wrong.
Like, nothing's wrong, But like,
not falling apart.
I'm not like gonna sit there and like, make him feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't see that.
Nobody is anybody.
Exactly, dude. Like, and this goes back for many years. Like, I can think back about 10 years ago, going to a local drift event, and this Hispanic dude used to pull up in a Mustang.
Mm-hmm.
Like Chelsea did know a style Mustang, like the older or whatever, like a 5.0, right? Nobody would drift this thing. Everybody used to look at him like, "What the fuck? Why are you here?" But like, I went over there, like, talked to him, trying to set him up, like, told him what to do, like, yo, let's do this. What, like, you're really like, this is pre-Vaughn. Like, he's like trying to do this. Like, this is a 2010 type of time. Like, and I'm like, dude, this is so cool that you just saw us drift, and you're like, I want to try to do this too. Yeah. But like everyone else is like, like, why would you? Yeah, why would you? You should never treat somebody like that, like, ever. Like, at least for me, like I said, like, I wouldn't want to feel that way. I hate feeling excluded from things that like aren't. It's drifting. We're all there together. We're out of drifting. Yeah. There's no
We're all
reason
a bunch of fucking idiots.
Exactly. So like, there is some things that we can like understand. Like, hey, I might not want you to tandem with me because your car might wreck into mine. But like, I'm also not gonna like, the way that I'm gonna express that is not gonna come out like, oh, fuck you, don't drive with me. But like, I'm kind of scared of my shiny car, dude. Like, I'm gonna make 20 comments about me being a pussy about you ruining my car. Like, I might, but like, like, it's the truth. I'm not gonna like, to a degree, and like, yet again, but we're all like, we're human. So I know that I probably have said things where like, I believe this has to be like this, which now people might not agree with my opinion, right? So then now, like, I know people probably don't agree with things the way that I've said or view them, but like, just try to be nice to everyone. I love everyone.
That's my favorite shout out so far is everyone. You know what I mean?
I mean, there's like a lot of people, like everyone at Cora Works, I really appreciate. My significant, like, I've been with her for like 11 years. Most of the things that I've done, I couldn't like have accomplished without her. At least having a good spine, like, whatever. So, but like, I feel like, yet again, where I'm at in cars is because of people in the same, I guess, karma energy. Try to put out what I want. Like, I've always, like, why do I have a sequential transmission? Because I've always positively send out good vibes. And one of my friends was like, hey, dude, I have some good vibes. And I was like, okay, here we go. Now I have a sequential transmission. Like, and it's come many other ways where, like, the same thing, like, other parts about the cars, like mid-mount manifolds, like,
no, that's cool.
I found it down the street from one of my friends. The rarest manifold in America, it was in like Kennesaw. I found 2 in 2008 or 2000 whatever. Like, when these things are like the rarest of the rarest, like, they're actually around.
That's your energy coming back.
Yeah, it's like, so like, I don't know. I'm a firm. It's like why me and Adam are good friends and stuff like that. I've always like, he comes with a positive energy that like, there's no time that I've had Adam around me, even in my car. Like, he's the best ride along. If you guys have go get Adam.
No, I want that.
He's literally the best. Like, he gets so hyped. Like, he gets so hyped. Starts yelling Japanese, and you just don't even know what's happening. And the next thing you know, you're just driving harder because this dude's energy is just feeding you, and you're just like,
that happened with PJ when he rode with me, because he was like, I don't know, he just was stoked on stuff. So like, I went 10, and then I was like, let's go up a little bit, and I'm like doing all this weird dancing and shit. I'm like, I don't do this normally. I just got super hype. That's cool.
Like, dude, the energy, and that's personally why, to me, Final Bout has been some of the best events that I've been to, because the energy around it has been so good. The random people that you get to drive, getting to do a couple laps with chat, like, some shit you never do, but we were so hyped. But we were so hyped afterwards. Like,
young me was very proud of that.
Yeah, it was very good. Like, I was super hyped, and like, like, that's how I felt. Cool. Like, I was excited for times like that. So I don't know. I feel like if we all try to do the same, but I know it's hard. I know it's hard to be positive all the time, but
for sure.
No, hell yeah. So everybody listening, give out good vibes. Positive energy attracts positive energy.
Smile. It's so easy. You can just walk around smiling and people literally just get happy. If you walk around with a frown, people literally get sad. If you walk around, you don't even have to be happy. You can just smile. And then you can turn around happy because the next dude now is happy.
Yep. Just be careful around other people's girlfriends.
I mean, you can smile at them too. Like, smile at everyone. You know, if you're insecure and you think I'm going to take your girlfriend, that's your fault. But like,
that's
sometimes
funny.
you just got to be a nice guy.
Yeah.
Like,
No, for sure.
Like, I don't know. There's no bad intentions like that. If I'm smiling at your girlfriend, I'm sorry. I'm literally
I'm just yes.
But it's the truth though. That's like an actual statement. Somebody might actually get really mad if they don't know that you're just like a happy dude and you're just smiling like that. Like, I'm just trying to be positive to anybody. Like, I'm not trying to hit on her specifically right now.
No, fuck yeah. Yeah. Everybody love everybody. Hell yeah, dude. Well, listen, man. This was hands down one of my favorite pods we've done.
I love this. This was great.
I learned a shit ton. We got to dive into your brain, which I've always wanted to do because every interaction so far with you has been very quick because we have to be very quick because we're doing stuff. Yep. You know, it's like you're judging. Okay, we can chat a little bit and you're gone. You know what I mean? Now I'm driving. Yeah. Like, so this was really cool to get down and like be able to hang out and chat. And I'm sure there's going to be future episodes too. We want to keep this going. We want to have everybody, you know, after a little bit of time has passed, get more guests back. And no, I really appreciate you getting on and taking 3 hours and 20 minutes to sit with us and fucking chat.
That's how, for a little bit.
Dude, this it's fun because we're just hanging out. That's all we're doing. You know what I mean?
But I just want to say thank you for being such a good inspiration, not only just with like paint stuff, but just in general. Like when I started coming up drifting, like GMP was pretty high up there for me. I was like, that's what I want to aspire to be. So the fact that you keep building cool stuff then made me want to build cool stuff. And I just want to thank you for being a really good inspiration. Thanks for coming on our small podcast. You know what I mean? Like,
this means a lot for sure.
Nah, dude, I love you guys. So, you know, thanks for like inviting me. Like,
no, we're stoked.
I don't really like even speaking. Like, you can ask Adam. I'm just freaking out about it. I was like, oh
no. You just gotta get like
quiet.
Yeah, you are. You're very like just chill. Like you're just like in person. You're just very chill.
Like I'm super quiet, but like I'm socially awkward. So like with a whole bunch of people, I'm like final bouts are really cool, but at the end, I'm like so socially like exhausted, dude. It's crazy. Like you have to talk to so many people or say hi to so many people. Like,
but you did absolutely amazing. You did really good. No, seriously. Some people can be like very like standoffish, you know. We covered a fucking shit ton, and I'm stoked on this. So you did absolutely amazing.
I'm hyped. We can get back on. We can talk about some other stuff. We can get even do some things. There's a lot of car setup things that we can talk about. Even just low cars. People don't believe things, but you know,
we have so much in the works that all that stuff could be perfect. I mean, I want to do more things, or we might bring multiple guests that are very, let's say, low car orientated, and we can have like conversations and spitball ideas and theories and like, you know what I mean? Like go nuts. I want to do more techie stuff too. I think that'd be really cool for the community. Have the people in the chat that want to help, you know, and just go nuts. Also, you can let Greg know that he's going to be from your shop one of the next. So sucks to be him. But no, again, thank you so much. The way we do this is I'm going to end it, but you can stay. Don't go anywhere. Just stay until the very end, and we'll have like a little side chat. But everybody in the actual chat and anybody listening on Spotify or any other streaming platform, thanks for sticking with us. We're going to have, of course, another episode next Thursday, but it's probably going to be orientated towards the YouTube. So if you're not subscribed to the YouTube, make sure you do such a thing. And also we have the Good Old Pilot Podcast on Instagram, where we're going to be releasing all of the upcoming guests, the upcoming show ideas. And believe me, I have a shit ton because I have ADHD and am half brain dead. So anyway, thank you everybody in the chat. Have a good night. Remember, take away everybody, just positive vibes. Love everybody. That's how we fucking roll. Let's go.
Internet.
Bye.
See everybody. You know what's funny? It's not gonna play.
No, it just started.
Did it? Let's try it.
It did. It
Let's
did.
see,
It started.
let's see what happens. Well, it's not playing for me, so I'm just gonna say fuck it, and we're just gonna end the stream. But everybody, love you, bye.
Jesus.
Yeah, it'll probably still.